We back. 818-suki. And friends this time.
Hey.
Maya and Phillip.
Hey.
What's up?
It's a family affair this time. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for coming back on.
Oh my gosh. Thanks so much for having us.
Of
this
course.
is so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and every time you guys come to the studio, you come bearing gifts like this. I got to show this off real quick. I got to flex how cool this is. It's a sweatshirt that says ATB on the front. It says, "Can I curse?" on the back. Because I ask everybody that in every interview ever. So that's like, thank you very, very much, Phil. That's very nice of you.
No problem.
And we're here with the pineapple juice. And how many joints in this interview do you think are gonna be smoked? Pros the last one.
He planned for 3.
I'm not planning at least three. At least 3. Let's hope we keep it on 3.
I think you were over 3 in the last one.
we talked for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Was there a
5.
cap? Is 3 your cap?
No. I always like doing predictions.
Yeah.
But I know that this is like 10 grams, so it's like 2.5 grams in each blunt, 4 blunts.
Yeah. Damn. So you know the exact amount?
No, it's just it's usually 2 grams, 2.5. It's just because like since these have like 5 grams in each bag, and usually takes me 3 blunts to end it.
Yeah.
I can get an approximate.
Yeah, I feel like your weed goes further that way.
It's because like when you calculate the weed you have to share with friends,
Yeah.
it's usually good to know like, oh, how much I'm gonna have today tonight, because you don't want to be the guy doing the weed run, you know.
Oh, the guy doing the weed run's crazy. I feel like, yeah, that I do. I mean, I always have said this because like I don't really smoke, but like if I did, I kind of wish I had the social aspect of it. Like I feel like there is like at a party or like a function or whatever, just when you're kicking it, there is very much like a social aspect of smoking that I feel like you miss out on if you don't smoke.
For real. Like,
No, but like I feel that LA.
Socially.
No, go ahead.
Oh no. I was just saying, like, I feel like before I would smoke like just every freaking day, like every day, and then I had to cut back because I'm a singer and like
Yeah.
it's bad for my voice. So I was like, okay, I'm only gonna smoke socially from now on.
Yeah, it's
And
probably a good
just-
thing.
Yeah. But edibles are a thing, and it's been a lifesaver.
It is interesting how like smoking is such a big thing in like artist communities, because you would think it wouldn't be, considering like the main instrument that people need is their voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's more vocalists than anything else. You wouldn't. I would assume there'd be less people who like were so big on smoking. But like I guess smoking weed is not as bad for your voice as it is like smoking cigarettes or smoking like whatever.
Yeah. It's way less harsh.
Right? Yeah.
But it's still like pretty harsh, right? Because of the tar and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, my lungs are not happy that I was smoking for so long and that heavy for a long time. Like, since college, I've been, like, at it. But the breaks really helped. I think that vocally, I've managed to develop a lot quicker than I had, like, during the time that I was, like, pretty heavy on it.
Where'd you go to college?
Berklee College of Music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For what?
For songwriting and music business. I did a double major there.
That's crazy. So you double major, but you graduated with a double major?
Yeah, I did.
Good for you. That's awesome. When and how long ago was that?
That was in 2020.
Okay,
So
nice.
I graduated right when like the pandemic got fucking bad.
Yeah, what was that like?
Like I just was born into the apocalypse.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, I'm finally an adult for reals, and now I can't freaking like do live shows. I can't like collab with people. I mean, like I was kind of, it was like before like Zoom was kind of like accepted as like a social norm.
Yeah.
So like I didn't really have much contact with anybody. I went into a deep depression during like the first few months of 2020. I was like, nah, like I don't know what to do with myself. And then like I really had to like internally come to terms with like who I was as a person, because it was kind of like going on a retreat. You know, like those I just heard about this actually. There are darkness retreats that you can go on where like you have to sit in silence. It's like in a padded room with a blindfold on.
That has to be amazing for you, I feel like.
Bro,
I talk about this all the time. I feel like one of the biggest problems with people like within our age group is that like we can't be alone, and not only can we not be alone, we can't like when was the last time you I've been trying to like sit in silence more and more. I've been trying to work my way up to getting to a point where I can do it like comfortably for like an hour, but it is hard. Like I didn't realize before I tried to do this, like
Dude.
when was the last time you sat in silence without your phone for like an hour and didn't talk to anybody and just sat there like in a room and just thought?
Like it got to that point.
Yeah.
And you can't like escape yourself in that situation, because like as a human being, like you have to be at least thinking. Like you can't do nothing. Like, I mean, you can meditate. I feel like even meditators though, like they go into like a deep trance where like they do have like transcendent thoughts and like experiences outside of like what the physical realm is, but like you have to like come to terms with who you are just as a person, you know? And like I fought a lot of demons during that time, and I'm a better person for it, for real.
Oh, 100%. Meditation for me has always been a thing where it's like what I get the most out of meditation is like eliminating thoughts from my brain. I think that is like what it helps me with the most. Like, I mean, there's all kinds of meditations, but the only one that's ever really like done anything for me is if I just sit there and I sit with a notepad, I close my eyes, and then every single thought that comes in my brain I just write down. And it's almost like an exploration, or what would the word be?
Exploration?
No, not exploration. The plural of expel. If you were to expulsion, there it is. Yeah, exactly. But it's like an expulsion of thoughts. It's like I'm getting all those thoughts out of my head, because if I just sit there and I write them down, they're out. And then I feel like if I do that at the beginning of the day, I'm way more clear-headed as the day goes on.
It's like a creativity purge, huh?
Yeah.
Yo, that's a beautiful purge.
Yeah. That's actually a really good way to put it.
That's amazing.
A creativity purge.
That's I won't take the credit. Somebody in Discord a long time ago used to tell me that I would have creative blocks while I was making music with a lot of internet people, and he would say, man, you need a creativity purge. You need to not watch or make content for like a day. Just live a life like you're not a content maker or enjoy like a Philistine. Yeah. And then just go back to it. And it's like a big pimple that you haven't bothered for a day, ready to pop.
Yeah.
Ready to pop.
Yeah, and I think as creatives, we need that like silence. We need that like rest to like really revitalize ourselves, like re-inspire ourselves to continue what we're doing. Because like if you're like a grinder, like I know most of us here are, like I mean all of us here, sorry, wrong words, but like you're creating every day. Like there's not a single day that goes by that I'm not creating something. But like you need those periods of time throughout even like the day where you're just like living your life. Yeah. You know, like you have to have that experience before like you can put that into something.
Oh, 100%. I had this band called Gosh on a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to Gosh. They're the shit. But we were talking about, I think it was Johnny Marr we were talking about. Or maybe it was Robert Smith. I don't remember. It was some musician. But when they made their first record, they were telling me how he pretty much like didn't listen to music for like 6 months. Wow. Or it was like a month or 6 months or something, but it was like a long period of time. And I thought that was very interesting, because I was like, I wonder if I would, because I'm so obsessed with music, like would I think more critically, more openly about music if I wasn't consuming it all the time? You know, like would I like go to a different place where like the way that I'm considering it is just different than how I am when I'm consuming every single day?
That's deep.
It's probably the process, because like I do that where like if I'm writing or when I'm writing and it's for a project, I try not to get any influences. We're already influenced, you know. Art is a library, and we just pull these ideas that are already there. We'll rent them. But
yes, we rent them.
But yeah, just sometimes I won't listen to anything, and then finally I'm like, okay, if I want a certain sound, then I'll study something, and be like, and listen just to that. Yeah. So yeah.
I love thinking about creativity like that. Like when ideas come, we just rent them. I think I talked to Estelle about that, and that was the interview How You Found Me. Yeah. But I was talking to her about how like there is just a strange thing within like the air, the ether, wherever you are when you're creating something in the air, and it's like there is like that lightning in a bottle feeling of like there's an idea, and I think when there's a lot of people in the room, it can just like it's almost palpable. You know, like you can almost feel it when something hits all you guys. You know, it's really strange.
No, but like that's the feeling of creation. I feel like that's like the adrenaline pumping in. Yeah. And that's what like gives you the energy to like go for it. I think it's so important to remember, like I've never experienced writer's block within these past 3 years, and it's because I came to the realization that exactly that, like we're renting ideas. Like there's a reason that like it's called cooking up in the studio. It's because we all have the same ingredients. Like you can't make new dishes. Well, I mean, you can't make new ingredients that aren't there.
Yeah.
Like you just have to take from, like there's a reason we practice the scales.
I agree. Like I don't think
those are your ingredients.
Yeah.
Like, can you think? Like, I think we discover every single drum pattern possible, right?
100%. There's no way we haven't.
There's no way we haven't. Like melodies. Like, ain't no way we haven't used every single melody. Maybe every single melody hasn't been popular yet.
Yeah.
But definitely as humans, we used every single one.
Like
drum beats are crazy to think about because mathematically, it's like not that like within like something that's gonna be like aesthetically like appealing. There really aren't that many like I'm trying to think like, in my head, right? So if like you take a 4/4 and then you're not playing something that's in a time that's like stranger than like 12, right? Probably not. So it's like realistically, there's probably only like at least like tempo wise, like what, like 120-ish beats you can play, and then obviously there's like thousands of fills and like a bunch of different kinds of whatever, but it's like just in terms of like I feel like I'm totally butchering the theory behind this, but it's like in my head it's like I guess there's like no more there could be no more than like 120 different like skeletons of drum beats that like are like in common and popular music, right?
Yeah, but they're like it's all about variation, and like the evolution of music started with one rhythm that resounded, which was the Big Bang. Like think about it, that was that was the start of the beat, right?
Yeah.
Right there. So it's like from that one single like melody that was first played, the rhythm, like we have only been able to build on what is. And like right now, I feel like we're at a pinnacle where like it's so easy to create and it's so like important to create too. We're at such a pivotal time in like human existence. I feel like music is the only thing that'll save us.
I feel like we live in like it's very interesting to think about, but it's like I feel like everybody feels like this way about the time that they live in. But it's like I feel like musically, like we have to live in one of the most like revolutionary and like dynamic and like changing times ever, like to be a musician and work in music, because it's like right now like we're experiencing the first time where music has ever like fully collided with the internet, and then like the externalities of that and like what that really means, you know. And we really are like the pioneers of that in a way. Like we're the first people to experience that. We're the ones that are trying to figure out, and that's what interested me so much about that gigantic like that like 2-hour long conversation we had after the podcast last time. We were just talking about like the Spotify algorithm and stuff, because it's like
I love when he talks about the Spotify algorithm. Like this guy is so passionate, and is just so passionate about helping other musicians. I don't even think he discovers things to discover things. He'll go down a rabbit hole forever, and I know this about you. Like, I feel like we've known each other, what, 3 years? Yeah. Not even 4 years. Shit, bro.
How did you guys meet?
We met through a mutual friend a while.
We were working on a film, on a terrible film. They wanted to tell a story of like a trans person that was struggling, but none of the producers or cast or director or writers were trans.
That's so weird.
And we just saw the situation like, y'all are just trying to...
I feel like piggybacking off somebody else's struggle. Yeah.
Crazy. Like, no, it's not even like the writer had somebody in their life that they are retelling the story. They just imagined one night and said, let's do the story. So
it's a little weird.
Yeah, a friend of hers and I get invited to this movie, and we go to the meeting and they show us the movie. We're like, I don't think we can do this.
Yeah. And why didn't they find like a trans person to be an actor in it?
Because the main actor, who was a friend with the writer, wanted to play a role that was so different than they were in some privileged stuff. Like, I want to be somebody different than what I am, but they don't understand boundaries or limitations and what is different. What can they portray? Who can they portray? Because like. It's not like there are no people for Dave to portray. There's so many characters they could portray. Yeah. Why take the space of somebody who could portray a sad character, you know?
Yeah. I think there's a weird line where that kind of exists, right? Because it's like, at a certain point, you are playing a character, of course, but it's like, I do think there has to be at least a level of the lived experience to truly like can accurately portray that. And I think like, the fear isn't like you do a bad job. The fear is like like what you're creating like gets really popular, and then it's like a very negative and like misinformed portrayal of like the character that you're trying to represent, you know? That is what scares me in it.
Yeah, that is because like once you mess up that project, and once the public perception and the critic perception say, "Hey, this is kind of ass."
Yeah.
You cannot go back and
Like,
redo a new cut or anything. It's ass. It's
Do you guys consume like reviews and critic stuff? Like, what are your opinions? Like, do you think it matters? And at what point do you think that's interesting? Like, because I feel like my opinion's changed on this so much over the years.
IGN is funny.
Yeah.
Like for example, when IGN reviews a game, I usually tend to play what they review badly because I know that reviewers haven't played deep enough to understand it. So kind of works on the opposite way. But before when I was in film school, I used to read like Roger Ebert, go to Rotten Tomatoes and try to see, what did they talk about? And it's a bunch of old people that are just regurgitating the same opinions. They never evolved.
Yeah.
I for that instance, or like for that point, I don't consume that. Like other people's opinions to me only matter if I really care about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Great way
if
to
I
put it.
care about you as a person, I value your opinion.
I'm gonna tilt your mic up
It's
real
because
quick.
sorry.
There you go.
Like, I know your soul. Like, I know you're trying to freaking, I don't know, it's about growth, right?
Yeah.
So we can build on each other's ideas. Yes, as humans. But I feel like just like you said, the regurgitation is just unnecessary to consume, because then what about my opinion?
Yeah. See, like, my opinion's changed on this so much over the years. Like, I used to think like I feel like it's difficult for me to like respect a piece or like really, really like dissect what somebody is trying to say about a piece of art if they're not like strictly using I statements. Like, I feel like they have to first acknowledge that like what they're talking about is like so incredibly subjective for me to then like really, really consider their opinion, because otherwise it just comes off as arrogant. Like, it's impossible for you to like say like declarative statements in like in a review and like to not sound like you are stating your opinion as a fact. It's like these people have to like acknowledge that what they're saying is their opinion, or else it for me personally, it's kind of difficult for me to consume, which is strange because like I flip-flopped on that, because I mean this all began like with me reviewing music when I was like 16 years old and like obsessively like read Pitchfork and it you know, my thoughts on that have changed over the years, because I feel like it's weird because when I was doing that in my bedroom I didn't know any musicians, and now it's like every single one of my friends is a musician. And it's not like it's like that means that like they're above any kind of criticism. I think it just means that there's a certain level of, I think, like perspective that you can't really have unless you like actively try to like pursue an artist project, you know. It's different.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
just like knowing the experience is different from an outsider's perspective. It's just all about like literally points of view. Like, an object can only be what it is, but like from where you're standing, like something really big to someone else could be like really small to someone else. You know
It's
what
like
I'm saying?
that.
It's,
Like, what's it? The elephant. There's an elephant and there's 6 blind men, and they each touch different parts of the elephant and the trunk, or
Different animal.
This is rough. This is smooth.
Yeah.
It's a dog. You know, it's all the same thing. You just it's like you said, it's your point of view.
legit. Legit.
Yeah, it is really interesting to think about. Like, I always think about like what if all those blind people touched it and they thought it was like a different animal.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, what if some of them were like, oh, this is like a dog, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a cat, this is a, you know, it's strange.
The trunk is a snake.
I'm not gonna lie. If I touch an animal, I say this is an elephant, and I hear somebody, oh, I'm touching a turtle.
I'm taking the blind.
I'm tripping. Either I or that person is tripping. I'll be like, hey, yo, what's up? We're supposed to touch the same animal. What the hell?
Yeah.
What? I
So,
must be crazy.
so where are you guys both living right now?
I'm from Vegas. I'm living in Vegas.
You're in Vegas, and then where are you?
And I'm living in D.C. right now.
Oh, okay. Are you from DC originally?
No.
Where are you from?
No, I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you guys originally get connected again?
Well,
Go ahead.
I was in LA for like 6 years, and then little pre-pandemic, I left music alone and was just pretty much done with it. Was doing a lot of like hip hop and parties type stuff, 50 Cent type shit. So a friend of ours took me to a studio session, and it was at Condom Studios, you know. So I was like, just sat there on the couch, being the on the couch guy, and slowly crept back into doing music.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just moved recently for some family issues, but I always come back to LA. I'm here at least twice a month.
Yeah. Oh shit. So you're like really back and forth.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. That's cool that you guys have still like been able to like maintain that friendship over the years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We be calling each other on the phone doing nothing. Like sometimes like he getting off work and I'm like just putting a bunch of files together and we catching each other up on the day, try to make the whole Westcord, our whole dual project, everything we do together work and be working. Like for example, our biggest collab right now, it's so close to 100K, so close.
Yeah,
closer than ever.
Itachi, right? Is right there. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I even came with full Uchiha today, even though he killed his whole family.
What is that?
That's his family clan.
Who's?
Itachi.
Oh,
Itachi.
okay.
Yeah, no, but you know Itachi's story?
No, not at all. I don't even know who Itachi is.
A very talented ninja since he was little. Worked for the military.
This is a real person?
No.
Oh, he's from
Naruto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from Naruto. Okay.
Yeah, and he. Long story short, the government said, "Hey, you kill your family. Oh, we gonna do it." And he decided to do it himself because he would do it painlessly and effectively, not a whole vengeance plans as like the village had originally against his family. Because his family from the past, he and the original family who founded the village were the two power families.
Yeah.
And his family kind of fell to the side and became the police force of the village, which everybody kind of hated.
Yeah.
So Itachi was forced to do it, and he only spared his little brother Sasuke, who didn't understand the motive and swore revenge throughout the whole anime. That's why like the whole Itachi Sasuke arc is a thing, because throughout the most part of the anime, we as the audience, we didn't know why Itachi did it for the longest time.
Whoa, that's such interesting. I love that. I think it's so cool. Like when shows in TV, like there'll be something that like there'll be something like you as the viewer knows, but like the characters don't know. So it's like the whole time you're like frustrated because you're like, just do this to figure it out. You know, it's strange.
It'd be killing me.
Yeah.
Like, I hate having the view of God in anime, like knowing more than the character.
Yeah.
I like having the same type of knowledge as the character. We discover together, or we have the chances to discover together. Because sometimes the character is just too dumb. It's like main character IQ, you know.
Yeah. I feel like anime culture is something that I wish I was more like understanding of, because I feel like there's like such a big. It's interesting too, because I feel like a lot like the vein that you guys kind of exist in like musically is very much like it feels like, you know, it plays off a lot of like anime culture and like, you know, things like video games, like that online area, you know. Like, do you guys feel like kind of the vein you're in is like a more online one? I feel like a lot of like the funk genres and like stuff like that like kind of exist in like online spheres, you know.
Yeah, even the gym audience that we have, it's very nerd gym. Like, even though they have, training until I die, they will have, like, a picture of an anime character. So you're like, you still watch it.
Yeah.
You're 7'11", but you still watch it.
Yeah. That kind of blew my mind when I was listening to the algorithm podcast when you were talking about gym funk, because like you said that, and I looked at a lot of those artists, like Sad Friend. I only knew Sad Friend from a friend I have who has an Instagram page where she talks about it's like a workout page, and she posted that song with Mupp and Sad Friend, and I was like, oh, this shit's fire, and I've added to my playlist. That was the only thing that I knew Sad Friend from.
The algorithm is like this, tiny.
Yeah, it blew my mind though. I didn't even I guess I've never went that far to consider genre at that point, you know.
I feel it's very OCD-ish. Like people that like the hyper-organization, like people that like from the eras of Tumblr or Neon Mob, like platforms that you could highly organize yourself. This is like a Six Flags for me.
Yeah. Do you guys think it's needed? Like, do you think genre is always needed?
I think if you view them as more guidelines than just actual strict boxes.
Yes.
It's useful just to know what wave you're on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The genres like do have distinct sounds that like we as people are different, therefore gravitate towards different things. Is good if you're going through a breakup, like I'm gonna put in like sad songs, you know, like there's a genre that you gravitate towards, which should only be like I said, guidelines, because I never know how to put my music in a box. Like how do you put creativity in a box? That's like the opposite of what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Mario says this all the time, and I really agree with it. He says, like, a good song is good in any genre, and genre is just, like, the stylistic choice of it, you know? So it's, like, the best, like, skeletons of songs ever could probably exist as, like, a pop song or, like, a rap song or, like, a rock song, you know, like, because the song is good.
The song is just a banger.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's just, like, the fashion of music. Like,
yes, exactly, yeah.
Translating to the fashion industry, like, there's the body of the song. If the body of the song is freaking bopping, whatever it wears, it's gonna be freaking slay.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That is interesting.
Yeah, there's that song "Poison" by Alice in Chains or Alice Cooper. That Groove Coverage did a completely different version because I think it was Alice in Chains, like very rock, very a long hair, tight, bright pants, and Groove Coverage is like the very gym 2000s EDM, and they made it work so well.
Yeah.
Or like there's so many bands that they get one song and they retransform into a completely different thing, and it just works.
That's how I feel about sample culture. Like, it's crazy to me sometimes to think about like Old Town Road and how it's a Nine Inch Nails sample.
Genevieve's Baby Powder.
Yeah.
That is Henri's Last Summer Whisper. The first 8 bars, and that song that is about the last time that summer love, that last time you talked to that person that you loved, became a song about a guy that is so dry.
Yeah.
His Baby Powder.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Started her whole career. Crazy.
That was wild when you were talking about that on that video. It pissed me off when you were saying that like Spotify like playlisters, they will like discredit you if you like make sample based music and like are like focused on loops and stuff. That feels so ignorant to me.
Especially if it's like splice recognizable samples, like there is like,
so those scan splice, how does that work?
There's some samples that are so popular they end up on Splice.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, it became too popular. A lot of music snobs do not like samples or beat packs that become popular enough to get commercialized to a platform as big as Splice. Because Splice became, in the eyes of a lot of studio snobs here in LA or in New York, are more like the McDonald's of music.
Yeah.
It's people don't get the accessibility that platforms like Splice that sell samples for less than a cent can do to a person that don't have bread like this.
Yeah.
You know, I see, like, for example, the genre that we operate a lot in funk, like either gym funk, drift funk, or even Brazilian funk, are genres that you can hear a lot of motherfuckers, even like recognizable snares, recognizable vox cuts. Yep. But they come from Splice, and luckily that's a genre that is growing. And I think it's just because the tastemakers of those genres don't have that unaffinity, if that is even a word.
But it just feels like too big of a job for somebody who's not a well-rounded music listener to have.
No, I feel it's more like, instead of like, it's a sample, I'm gonna disqualify. A lot of taste making, like for example how Fresh Finds is making, is how they explore how 10 to 50,000 listeners listen, what they're listening to at the time, and saying, this song might blow up because this song is 300 of these guys we spy are listening to this one song.
So is that how Fresh Finds is made? It's like based on how many times one individual is listening to a song, so you have to get like a high quantity of like individuals like re-listening to a song?
No, they used to have an article, probably they still have on the Spotify blog if you look in it. It's an article that it talks about how they not explore, but they study this I think it's 10 to 50,000 profiles per month. They call tastemakers. Profiles probably of college students in metropolitan areas, and they just listen. What are they listening to? Like songs like Double Take by Droove. They were in Fresh Finds when that song had like 7K, and that song has like 48 million now.
Why? Like, why would that be on Fresh Finds versus something else?
At the time, Droove was specifically really popular into the scene of songwriters in LA and songwriters in the UK, songwriters in New York. So names like Dandelion, or for Droove, Riz La Vie, there were names that were floating around town. Enoch, Melty Cannon, and you see like Melty Cannon is a great example of writing for Father right now.
Yeah, he was like one of the really, really awful guys, right? He was like one of the first guys on Awful Lot of Cough Syrup, right?
Wait,
or on Awful Records, I mean.
I didn't
right? Melty Candy was on off a record. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Damn, that's crazy. The way I know Melty Candy is that Melty Candy was like playlist surfing on a lot of Fresh Finds.
Interesting, yeah.
And there was a song called A Song About Love. Not even his top 10, but A Song About Love was getting a lot of playlist editorial attention when I started studying was getting picked in editorial playlists. And Melty Candy was one of these names that just floated in LA, like Kweku Collins, Madge, Gene Dawson. Like, these are names that were always floating out here in pocket concerts.
Yeah.
Like, there are companies like Once You Watch that are by Live Nation that really aim at these artists and get them really, really early.
Yeah. Do you think, like, that's actually something very interesting to me, too, because I don't think, like when I lived in the Bay Area, the names that I would hear bubbling were not the same names that I hear bubbling down here, you know. And it's like the ones that are down here, it does feel a little bit different. It's like there is more like industry pull and industry eyes on them. So it's like the people who are like, you know, kind of are going up and they live like in the LA area. It seems like it happens a lot faster for them.
Depending who's your promoter, who's your manager, who's your agent, who's pushing your name, who's like in parties really dropping your name. Because a lot of artists that I hear on Fresh Finds, I heard their name being talked by somebody else, like in the studio or a few weeks before. So I know like certain people are just getting like, oh, you just got signed.
Yeah. How important do you think that still is? As like, you know, as like all you guys who are artists who like are very, you know, exist in like online spheres, and you're very interested like the whole algorithmic part of it and like the way that Spotify pushes your music. That's all online, you know. So how important do you think it is still to have like your name in those kinds of rooms and have somebody vouching for you and, you know, showing face in certain places? Like I was thinking about it today. It's like I feel like some of the most successful musicians I know are people who just have a shit ton of friends and they all come to their shows. You know what I mean? So like how important do you think that still is in the age where like so much of music marketing is online?
Don't have enemies. That's for me the number one. It's not how much your name is said positively, it's how much your name is not said in a negative manner. Like, if I bring your name into a room, it's not somebody say, oh, isn't that the person who did this? This is something that is so LA, New York right now. People are collect flaws and cancellations on artists and they just have them ready on a holster. So you say, hey, I work with this person, I work with that person. People are already ready to cut it down or to praise them up, depending. I don't know, what do you guys feel about it?
100%. Like what you just said is the truth. Like music, being a music creator, you want to like the person that it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like you may love their art, but if they're not a cool person to hang with, why bother? Like I want to surround myself with people who like I really like care about and like we're vibing and there's a connection, like we have something in common. Like those are the things that I look for in like my collaborators, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you build your network, your connection, like your family, really, like the people, your friends that you surround yourself with. That is the literal foundation of building your career from there, like expanding. Like you change your fan base one person at a time. Like you you create your own super fans depending on what you're giving them. Like people will reciprocate. You just be kind.
Do you ever feel like I almost feel like sometimes it's easier to build a fan in person. I think it's like I don't think real life can be saturated. You know, did you know what I mean? Like
energies are real.
Yeah.
Like, you can sense when somebody just gives off those bad
vibes.
They carry that darkness with them, and you sense it.
Yeah. Like I don't think you'll ever be able to tell that online.
Bro, hyper local is way better than being viral. If you're a person that you walk into a new bar or a new open mic and people already know your name before you even perform there, so much better than being viral. Because how you treat it in real life is kind of better than kind of how you treat it online. It's kind of Tyler the Creator. You treat it bad online, turn off your phone. You treat it bad you treat it bad like in a place that you walk in. You cannot turn off the real life experience. You cannot block real human beings. So you better be a nice person to be around with. People like just know, oh, that's gonna be a good person to be associated with.
I almost also feel like it's easier now to do that because so much music's online. It's like there's so many people who I think don't understand that to a certain point, and they're just trying to push their music strictly online in a world that's so ultra saturated on the internet, right? That it's like those genuine people in real life do stick out more. I think I'm way more likely to become a fan of someone if I meet them at a party and we have like a cool 20-minute conversation, and I go home and I listen to their music and I love it, opposed to like somebody who I see on TikTok and I'm like, oh, that song was sick. I might listen to it a couple times and then that's the extent of it. If I like have a face to connect to that song and like there's a human being there, I think emotionally I'm way more attached to it, you know?
Yeah, way more invested too. Like you want to support the people that you like. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I've always viewed it. And like we as musicians also, like that's how we build a positive music industry, because like I am blessed enough to like know the people that I know and be surrounded with positive creatives. Like we are family at the end of the day. Like I was gonna stay at this guy's house, I was gonna treat my girl to a hotel, but like dude, like we stay at each other's places. You're about to come to Vegas and we're about to like film some dope music videos.
That's fun.
Like it's a friendship, that it's a relationship you build with people, and that is why we make music. It's because it's also just a connection to someone else's soul at the end of the day.
Oh, that's so true. I think I've been considering that like a lot lately, actually, because like I think lately I'm realizing that like one thing I'm very grateful for is like I think Above the Bridge has a community around it. And I'm very like eternally grateful for that. That means like everything to me, because it's like that's all I ever really wanted to do with this shit. It was like build a community of people, you know, that like love the art and love to like talk about art and pursue art and like really give a shit about each other. Like that's the coolest thing. That's so much cooler to me than like, and not that I don't like online communities, but I just think that like having that real life scene and community is so much more palpable.
That concert right there, that poster that is right near the West Court poster, that concert just happened. It's a proof of that.
Thanks, bro.
That was so, the energy was so different. Everybody performing was like they had like their own mojo, their own aura. That was real shit. That was hyper local. That was hyper local for sure.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Damn, that thank you, bro. I appreciate that, because that is what I want. Like I think like to create that hyper local sense of like community, because it's like I think that like eternally means more to people too than like the online shit does.
Truly determines the longevity of your career.
That
it does. Like if you want to be a one-hit wonder, do everything online. That's just what it is.
The internet moves too fast. People forget about that. You need to have like some sort of anchor, and the anchor is real life. Because whenever Spectrum or whatever your internet provider ain't working or is in maintenance, who's gonna talk to you? Who's gonna listen to you? Who's gonna hang out to you? It's real life, motherfuckers.
No,
like
100%.
we can't take any of this with us, but what I know is wherever we're going, I'm gonna see you motherfuckers there. So like I want to like the people I'm surrounded with, you know?
Do you think like for that reason the internet is like a net negative or net positive thing for musicians? Because I was thinking about that. See, that's kind of how I feel, but it's so interesting to me because it's like when I was watching that conversation you did about the algorithm, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, was it better when this industry? Well, okay, it's like almost like a double negative, because it's like 20 years ago the industry was arguably way more gatekept than it is now, for sure. But it's like that gatekeeping existed in real life and not so much online, so it was more difficult to detect. So I think in that way the internet was like an amazing way, but then it's like just there's still gatekeepers, they're just new kinds of gatekeepers. Like now it's Spotify, you know what I mean, where you know 25 years ago it was Republic or like RCA or like, you know, whatever the biggest label was at the time. It's like now it's Spotify, and it's like, you know, like heads of A&R at like these big labels that like aren't considering people who like don't have like a strong online presence, and just, you know, it's all that's, I feel like it's like different gatekeepers. Like it's not like the gatekeepers are gone, they're just different now. You know?
Completely. And I think it just goes back to us not actually knowing the intricacies of the music industry, just like as a business. It's less so about the creative side. What's really being withheld from us is how to actually make money in this music industry.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're not going to get your money from Spotify. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Not with
not-
streaming royalties.
Or label.
Dude, it's like point 002? Something like that?
Premium. You're talking about premium streams.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Because we
There's
gotta
different-
remember that it's
yeah, yeah.
non-premium streams. That is
Different
most of
tiers.
the international streamers. For example, for a genre that is so international like us, we ain't getting those premium streams all the time.
What's a premium stream?
People that pay for a Spotify Premium.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of countries.
That pays differently than somebody who doesn't pay.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
What? That's crazy.
No, for real. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And then
Why?
there's, like,
Because they can, I guess.
because they can.
Yeah.
Legit. It's literally because they can. And it's because 100 years ago, they made the certain amount of copyright that you receive, like a royalty that you receive from your copyright, into a law. And it's like
Yeah.
the Conference of Copyright or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But like literally 100 years ago, they literally meet every, 5 years to renegotiate royalties from songwriters.
Uh-huh.
And we are in the age that everything is online. Everything is different. We do not operate by the laws of 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, we are a completely different society now, and the laws have not changed.
Not progressed. Yeah.
Not
They've
kept
not
up.
progressed. And I'm like, I need to eat. I'm a foodie. I need to eat. And y'all ain't letting me because I got what? I mean, I got a solid 160 last year from streams.
That's it?
No, for real.
Yeah, if you ain't doing songwriting, you ain't eating. Like it stream. This year, I probably made like what? I'm near a band.
That's it?
Yeah, and that is like almost 500K streams.
That's crazy. dude.
Most of the money I do is engineering or songwriting for other people,
Yeah.
and not even songwriting is being paid to get your name off the songs. That pays
Yeah.
so much more than the actual work.
Yeah. But you work mostly in the music industry, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, nice. I want to ask you this because I was thinking about this recently. I've been using Tidal for a while because I do have obviously a discrete issue with a lot of Spotify policies and more specifically the
Thank
way
you for
in which,
paying us more, bro.
yeah, well,
We
100%.
appreciate you.
Of course. But it's like I have been using Tidal for a while because I feel guilty for using a platform that doesn't support musicians in the slightest. But I had somebody bring up to me recently that like it's not really like Tidal does. It's just like not as bad. And then like
Because they don't have as many people listening, so they can't
Yeah.
afford to pay more. It's like Deezer.
Yeah.
Deezer now has
Yeah.
the whole plan of doubling the streams if you have more than 1,000 people. Different people intentionally streaming your songs, and you get double the stream if they search for your music, if they intentionally search for your music, if it wasn't like an autoplay. And they can't
That
afford
makes
to do
sense.
that because who is on Deezer right now?
I honestly didn't even know Deezer was still a thing.
There's Claro Musica. There's he was talking about another platform, Music. Talk about that one.
Oh yeah, it's just called Music.
It's called Music?
Yeah, I don't know
Is it
how
really?
they were the chosen ones, but yeah,
What?
I believe it pulls from YouTube, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, YouTube's
Oh, that's
API.
crazy.
If there's a visual to the song, you'll see the visual playing.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
and then
God.
you can listen to it all the time. So I don't know
That's
who
hilarious.
authorized how that works.
Does it
But
pay?
Shazams pay really well. I mean, like, not really well, but like Shazams are better than streaming.
It's interesting because I feel like it's like comparing a penny to a dime.
Yeah.
Like it's
No,
like
it literally.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like none of them are paying good. So
Not
that
at all.
so then I start to question like, does it even really matter if like I'm using Tidal? Like should I just go back to Spotify? Cause it's like I guess it's more of like a principle thing for me.
I feel that it would. There's ways, like for example, imagine you create a strong personal playlist on Tidal.
Yeah.
That is a way to keep supporting people, because people that have the choice, because Tidal has different things that Spotify. The sound quality on Tidal is completely different than
Yeah,
Spotify.
the US sucks. But
And like the people in those communities could find artists that you're on playlists that you're setting up, because Tidal does not have like a community of playlists like Spotify have. But right now I feel that if you ain't listening to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times the same song, there's barely a noticeable difference.
But it's also like I mean, I think about it with, like, I feel like you can make that point about any issue ever, right? Like, you could be like,
exactly.
like, for example, like, if I go vegan tomorrow, I'm not gonna stop carbon emissions from,
because you just want to do.
Yeah. Like, so it's like, but does that make it not worth doing?
No, it's personal choices. If it's worth for you, you should do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I was thinking the other day. I'm like, am I really like making a difference? Like, does it actually matter? And I guess it matters from
You saw how all of us reacted. We all thank you for paying us more.
Mm-hmm.
It's even if it's like on a single song, it's the intention is there.
Yeah,
I feel that that's a very human thing. Like, we care about intention, even if it doesn't do nothing about our actual reality. We just care about intention, and we just animals that gravitate towards like this type of emotion.
100%. That's actually a very interesting way to put it. I think that is really, really key, because it's like, even if somebody doesn't, if somebody's trying to help you, I think a lot of time that does have the exact same emotion behind it as somebody helping you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like, even if the practice falls short, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
In a world where like we're not making streaming at all, how important do you think shows will become? Because like I feel like they're very, very vital right now. One, to curate that like in-person experience, but I feel like even as like these online platforms start to be more and more gate-kept and less financially viable, I think shows, it's going to be really difficult for them to not always be financially viable. So do you see like a trend where people are going to start performing even more? Because I feel like there's this gigantic phenomenon right now of like TikTok artists blowing up, having like over 1 million monthlies, but they can't fill a room because they've never played a show and they don't have a fan base.
Festivals
Yes.
can bring any name back to light.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah.
Like even people that live strictly online, like the legend of J. Paul that had his whole
Just play
music.
Coachella.
Exactly, like he has just a strong, really good online presence. Like the fact that he had his album dropped on Bandcamp without his consent, he disappeared for years. He had that whole thing with his brother and then disappeared again. Came back on Twitter, went super viral, disappeared. That in and on showed potential. 99% of the people that saw J. Paul at Coachella didn't know who J. Paul was, but they were interested because they were like, why this guy is so late at night?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Why do I need to know? It's like Ghost Kids.
Yeah.
Nobody fuck with Ghost Kids. It's like J. Paul has a story. I'm not comparing J. Paul and Ghost Kids the same level at all. J. Paul actually has a legacy compared to the rappers behind Ghost Kids do have a legacy, but the project is like a cash grab.
Yeah.
They just tried to do the whole invasion with Rolling Loud, and I know a lot of people that are within like the inner like Loud Punks community. They didn't even appreciate that, and those are NFT people. They usually appreciate those type of stunts. And there was not even support from that type of community.
I think there's this really, really weird phenomenon going on right now where it's like we have people who like have found ways to like break these online systems, but then can't do the same in real life. And then it's like causing this weird conflict, because it's like there is like, you can't like fake a good show, you can't fake a good performance, and it's like having those memories made in people's mind. That's just, you can't do that online. It's just different.
It is different. Like, you can't feel the energy. It's like how you perceive information. Like, there's an energy block when you just look at a screen.
Yeah.
Like, all you're gonna feel is the blue light, bro. Like, it doesn't translate as profoundly as in person does.
And I feel like when it does, it's because people have become like really, really good at world building online. Like, I think like what you were just saying about J. Paul, right? There is that like gigantic lore of like his story, and it's like people were invested in his music because of his story. And a story that's that story spanned years and years and years, but it was a true, real story, and there was a lead up to this.
There's a whole hero's journey about it, and that was the conclusion of the hero's journey. His first performance. We all wanted to see him finally succeed. He had his like magnum opus, his debut album, Stolen, sold on Bandcamp,
like
and
10 years ago too.
2013 was brutal. Nobody cared about internet legends, internet like stories like that. Nobody cared. He just waited enough, and that was great. Patience.
And I feel like every artist should be thinking about their career and the way they present themselves in that way. It's like you have to have a story. There has to be something behind you. I think the days where like people are going to support an absent face because they make good music is just long gone. You know, it's like there has to be some kind of story, some kind of lore, some kind of world built around a musician now.
Yeah.
That's how I even noticed my own lore. Like I was trying to make Planet-suki 3 the last of the trilogy, because it started as a mixtape that I was showcasing music with my friends, and through DMs this year I realized people asking if I'm gonna release Planet-suki 4 next year on 420, because every 420 release, and I realized that's my fucking lore. I don't get to choose.
Yeah,
it's happening. That is my lore. It's like, for example, NLE Choppa has his Shada flow. He didn't choose to make Shada flow. He's making 5, 6, 7. It was just something that was popular. Even like when he said, "Oh, you should bring friends out here," the coincidental choice of them being here is great, because these are the first voices ever on my first lore project.
Yeah.
These are the voices that open it.
It's crazy. Nicodonia is it Donia? Did we settle? Is it Nicodonia?
I always say Nicodonia, but I don't know the pronunciation. I'm Brazilian,
Right.
so I'll be winging it.
It's funny too, because the reason that song is named that is because you made me come up with 3 words that this project should be, and that was one of them. And it had like it was like the feeling of like on a rainy day. What was it? Crap, I wish I had my phone now.
Yeah, we need to Google what Nicodonia means.
Yeah.
Nicodonia?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Nikhedоnia.
That's not how I thought that was going to be spelled in my head.
Right? It's like nicotine, but Nicodonia.
Oh, now I kind of see it.
You know?
Can we get a little fact? Mario, can you Google that for us real quick?
I totally
Nicodonia.
forgot. That's my bad.
Nikhedonia.
Like Nicholas.
Yeah. Edonia. Like Nicodonia.
Oh,
No. What does that mean? Because we forgot.
It's so long ago, but I remember working on that track. It was.
That's crazy to remember.
Excitement or elation that comes over you when you anticipate success.
Whoa! What the fuck? That was a great word to choose.
I told you it meant something profound. I just forgot what it was.
When you anticipate success.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That is an interesting word.
Wow, that's such a great word to be the first song of all Planet-sukis.
Of your lore, bro.
Wow, that is.
Awesome.
It makes sense. Yeah.
And I didn't even think.
But that's what I mean. You didn't. Yeah, like you didn't
I
know.
just thought it was a cool word. I was
Yeah.
Like, this sounds really cool to name a track.
But that's what. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I was saying. Like it's part of the lore. Like it's part of that universe that exists, and there's nothing you can do about that. You know, you can't go back and rewrite it, but you have to embrace whatever it is. It's like there's like this story before you, and you can either like not play into it. But I feel like if you don't play into it, whether it's bad or good, it's like you're kind of like disservicing yourself. Like I think about, it's good to think about negative experiences in terms of like, how can I turn this into a positive one? And I think one way you can do that as a musician or as somebody who's just trying to like market themselves online is through like making that part of your story. You know, like I think about like the very first show we ever threw. I don't know if I've ever told you about this, but the very, very first show we ever threw, it was May of 2022, and it was at this venue in the city called Brick and Mortar, and it was like, I wanted to throw a show so bad for so long, as I had finally figured all this out, had enough people to do it, I felt comfortable, and I got to this point where I did it, and soundcheck went great, everything went good, it was all running smoothly, and the show starts, and I'm like, oh my god, like I did it. My parents were there. It was packed, 200 plus people in the room, and then half the power goes out in the city of San Francisco.
Oh,
bruh.
That is not how I thought that story was about to go. Whoa.
And yeah, and it's terrible, obviously, right?
Awful.
Yeah, it was awful, but like it's such a discrete part of like the makings of what this all is now.
Yeah.
Like it's such like an important episode, like kind of what you were saying, like it's like in that hero's journey. That is such an important episode in the story. It's such an important moment, you know. We came back and we threw it, and it redid it and it went great, but it's such an important thing, and it fucking sucked in the moment. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Like literally all of my biggest fears like coming to life. Like it was like I watched like everything that I was afraid of happen. But I think being able to come back from that has made me an eternally stronger person, and is like bettered above the bridge in the long run in so many ways. You know, like I think like we all need those gigantic failures sometimes. Like the way I kind of perceived it was like, how much more can I take? You know, it's like, if I can handle this, what can't I handle? It's like the universe wanted to kick me in the throat because I was close to doing something that would change my life. You know?
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like in your sort of hero's journey musically, you've got to a place where there was like a gigantic failure, like you were talking about when you stopped making music, Phillip, and then like came back from it? Do you feel like that was like a very important and pivotal moment in like your trajectory?
Yeah, man, definitely. I just came from like, you know, doing stuff with like Def Jam and working with freaking Team Kanye Daily on graphics and things, getting close to stuff. And then, you know, I just felt, you can call it depression or whatever. I just didn't like the quality of stuff I was making. So when it just all came crashing down, I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna make clothes. I was doing an internship. That's what I met the dude that, you know, brought me to the spot. But yeah, I definitely had a few of those moments. You know, this is like round 2 before I was like doing stuff like from 2013 and up, and then I stopped at 19. But yeah, it's always gonna be. But you got to build something. You got to have materials. So you got to have pebbles. You got to have the sand. You got to have what's had broken down. You know what I'm saying, to build again. So I expect it. I like it. I take it as a you know, like, okay, that happened. Let's go this way.
So the restart was like a positive thing for you.
Yeah, because I'm comfortable. I make music I like to make. I'm not sitting here trying to write the best, you know what I'm saying, pile of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this is my person. I like it. This is stuff I'm learning. That Sensei Suki over there. You know, I didn't know. I like anime. I'm a DBZ head all day, but like I didn't know that like the inner workings. So every time we'll go to the studio, we'll watch something new, a new anime, a new something, you know.
Bro, I will put him and some other people through like 40 minutes, sometimes the hour YouTube extra analysis videos, like people dissecting specific moments or characters, and we will make a song right after. And I'll be producing the song while they were watching the video.
That's so cool.
I remember a session that we've had like that, more than a few. It's always a vibe, honestly, like, because he brings you into his world, like into his head. When you're around him, like going into his mind, because he like just spills it all out on the table, and then you're just like, what the fuck? Because it's always so groundbreaking, earth-shattering genius. I don't know what else to say about it, because I always like being around Nick makes me a better person, and that's just it.
Yeah, it's like this vibe where like after a while the people fall off. Like there's a lot of people we're dealing with and they just got weird, you know what I'm saying, because they weren't genuine or they're around for the wrong reasons. But like this guy right here, man, I'm telling you, like I'm even more happier. Like there's things I would be stressed out and worried about, and I'm like, for what? What would Suki do?
Like he is, I believe, one of my longest musical friendships that have lasted for this long. Like a lot of people that I used to work with like kind of fell off, and I just kind of found my own crew just in person where I could really just depend on them, you know. It's like finding your own family outside of blood, and it's been pivotal for me as a person. It's been pivotal in my creativity, because before I knew these guys, I don't think I had a genuine sense of how the music industry was, coming from a school perspective, which, because of how fast the music industry changes, was from 10 years ago. So I really got to immerse myself, being their friends, with what the underground music industry really was, like what it was going to be like for me, like going into it and being a positive influence on the music industry in general, just by being incredible humans. So like I felt like I was so blessed, especially like getting thrown into LA right after I mean, like I took a year in Boston to like figure stuff out, but I went to LA knowing people that were so supportive and like truly believed in me. I don't think anyone that I've just met had believed in me like you guys do.
Do you feel like it felt like what do you think clicked, like, when you found those people? Because, like, I mean, just speaking personally, like, I feel like it took me so long to, like, find that group, you know, but it, like, changed my life in so many ways.
Yeah.
For real. Sorry, can you repeat the question? Because I just went into a wormhole of emotion of gratitude for these guys, and I totally lost my
No, that's
thought.
beautiful. I'm saying, like, what do you think clicked in your mind? Like, I feel like when I found my people in LA, like, I learned that, like, you have to, I think the biggest thing I learned was, like, you have to actively make friends, and that was something that I don't think I had, like, understood for a long time, because I felt disingenuous whenever I, like, tried to become friends with somebody, because in my head I was like, that's weird, like, friends are just supposed to be natural. But it's like, that is what happens when you're, like, a social kid in school. Friends are natural. Like, in school I didn't have to try to make friends, you know. It just happened. But it's like, once you're in the real world, there's nothing wrong with like liking somebody and then be like, I want to hang with this person more. Like, when I met you, I was like, damn, like, I like Suki, like, I want to, like, and then I, like, was inviting you stuff because I was like, dude, you're fucking cool, like, I want to kick it more. It's like, that used to feel so weird to me because there's, like, this perceived level of, like, you know, like, I run a music media company, you're a musician. Like, I just never wanted somebody to think that I was doing something disingenuous or, like, for the wrong reasons, you know? And that was a lesson that I learned, I think, when I started to surround myself with so many people. It's like, I started to feel less strange in those conversations, and I was meeting more people, and then I was like, you know, it didn't feel weird anymore. So I guess the question in a shorter manner was like, what do you think you've learned from being around them so much? Or what do you think the biggest thing you've learned?
That's what's like, not only have I learned that, oh fuck, bro, like, I'm about to get emotional. I'm not.
That's what we do here. It's okay,
dude. I've learned that I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of happiness, and love is something that comes in many forms, because, like, I feel like certain, like, soulmates come in different forms of relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're different kinds of things. And so, like, I don't believe in just one soulmate, because there are multiple soulmates that you can have throughout your lifetime. And these two are one of them. They're my friends. They're my homies.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I'm ready to take y'all to the top. Let's freaking go. I'm so ready to take over the world with these guys.
Yeah, I think it's the most beautiful mindset ever. Like you want all your friends around you to win as much as you want to win yourself, you know?
Yeah.
You know, because it's, imagine how scary it should be successful doing everything you want, and then you realize that your friends are still battling their own battles, so they're not gonna pay attention to celebrate your success with you, because it's your success, it's not y'all success. It's not something you can share, you can experience together. It's not an experience that y'all can die and have collected that as human beings together. It's not an achievement that both of you collected at the same time, you know. And shared success, like, that's the number one reason why I created Planet Suki. I put like, most of the songs have a feature, or like how, like, my biggest song is our biggest song. Yeah, like, we made sure to make that happen, that we collab so much that it was gonna happen. Because this motherfucker here is more than just a musician. He's a great human being. He chose his family above. He loves music, but he chose his family above music. That's and beautiful. That is something that I appreciate so much, that any achievement in music that I get, I try to automatically pass it to him, because it's if he didn't have to have the split, he would be doing the same run with me, and somehow this motherfucker finds a way to be in it, to do his stuff. Like the song that we have, the he dropped, the One Punch Man freestyle. Managed to hit every single Edge playlist on the sound playlist, you know, the website that I showed. Yes, his song hit every single funk algorithm, and it was a song that he recorded on an iPhone and sent me the files on Discord, bro.
Yeah,
I think that it's so, that's amazing, bro. I think that's so beautiful. You guys have all found each other. I feel like you're supposed to, you know. I think it's so admirable that you can do that. Because I think there's such a level of ego that you have to dismantle in order to, like, really want to bring up the people around you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Truly.
I think it's just having like just people having open minds and willing to listen. I think what stops a lot of friendships and just things moving forward is people are unwilling to learn, or they think they know it all.
Exactly.
They, you know, all of a sudden they're like, oh, he knows too much, or they might feel a certain way because that person knows something they should have known. Instead of being like, you know what, I do it all the time. He says something, well, I don't care if it's a word or it's an anime. I'm like, wait, hold on, what's that?
Yeah.
You know, like it's people. I think people they're tired. They don't want to learn. And they want to stay stuck in their ways. You know, like
Yeah.
This motherfucker learns. He's not afraid to ask me no question. He's not afraid to repeat himself or re-ask a question because he wants to know the answer. That's why, like, the song that we did, Mudsdale, was something like that. One day I pointed at him and say a number from 0 to 700 something, because I wanted him to say a Pokemon, and he said 750. And I didn't know what 750 was. I'm not that fan of newer Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then we typed Mudsdale.
The new ones are crazy. There's like fucking ice cream cones and shit. Like, yeah.
So this Mudsdale, it's a horse made of mud. But the one thing that was very interesting for the both of us is the only Pokemon that at least both of us know that when depicted as a human is depicted as black. It's not
really.
Yes. It was in fan art. Like
that's interesting. Wow.
Most brown Pokemon come from other cultures. Like, for example, Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, they're not going to be depicted as black because they come from other attributes to people of other races. But Mudsdale was like, you always portray with a dude with dreads and always different like this. And we're like, let's make this song. Yeah. And Mudsdale was the first collab that we did that really hit the algorithm. We didn't have to... We didn't even have time to promote the song, not even like make stories, because shit was just was happening. Yeah. And Mudsdale luckily was growing by itself. It was hitting some gym algorithms, and motherfuckers that love gym playlists, they are loyal. They create their own playlists and they listen. Yeah. They listen for months. Like Mudsdale, it's over a year old now, and there's people that still listen from the first month.
But don't you think it could have been so easy for one of you guys to like do that, and then it's like this goes and happens, and then it's like one of you, because of ego, is like, oh, like that was my song, like that was my success, you know, like I'm claiming this, you know what I mean? Like I just think like friendship is like a partnership. I have a friend named Vu who I met because of my roommate, and we were talking about love the other day, and Vu said something that really stuck with me. He said, love is a conscious decision to try. And I was like, wow.
Period.
You know what I mean?
Powerful.
Period.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to get that out of my head. He said, love is a conscious decision to try. It's like, wow. That is so true. Fuck. You know? And I think it's like, I think it hit me so hard because like it plays into that mindset I was talking about, where like originally like I thought like friendships just come and they just are natural and they exist. I don't feel that way anymore. Like I don't think you shouldn't have to put effort into friendships.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, you know what I mean? Should.
And I think I think I genuinely used to think that way, because I not in like a malicious way, but in like a, this should be so natural that I don't have to think about it a ton, you know? Yeah. But it's like I don't think that's true.
I feel it can be true. Like there are friendships, like for example, friends of mine, especially my childhood friends from Brazil, I don't have a lot of like we don't have a lot in common like that. But every time we meet, it's like we never stop being friends. It's like we like last time we talked, we were 8, and now you're hugging me and talking, presenting me your kid and saying, yo, that is the dude that did this with me. I'm like, damn, that much respect. I was just like your homie when you were 8. But some people, like, they just understand that life just split us in different paths, and they understand that it's okay. Some people are just live completely different lives. Like for me, one of the best examples, I have a friend that shout out to Fabio. He was at some point. Shout out to Fabio. He was a number 1 player in Guitar Hero 3 in the world. What? Yeah, bro was an esports player before esports. Like if Google Fabio Jardim, bro was like went to China and won the whole championship on his brother's account. Caio Menudo won 3, and bro, that dude, he was I was a poor kid, bro. I wasn't at school because I was just intelligent. Book intelligent. So I got a scholarship, and 2-3 days after school, he would invite all of us, all the boys in the class, to go to his house, and we would play Rock Band and Guitar Hero. He was the only one who had the money to have an Xbox 360 and have us all play. He wouldn't mind that we would go crazy on his drums or go crazy on his guitar. He just wanted to see us play. We were terrible singers, all of us. And I remember he would not finish the Rock Band campaign if it was not the whole band together. Like, that was a friendship that definitely made me love music so much more. That one game, Rock Band, because we were that band. We were that virtual. I don't even remember the name of the band, but we were those characters.
Yeah.
That's
I think
so awesome.
it's so weird how like the things you obsess of as a kid like almost implicitly and unconsciously like determine the things you obsess of as an adult.
Yes.
Obsess over as an adult. Like I had this idea. Fuck, should I say it? Yeah, I'm gonna say this, but no one steal it. I had this idea to like, and I think I'd do it like either next summer or maybe like the summer after that. Maybe it's like a year and a half down the line. But I really want to throw a mini festival and do like a 2-stage festival, and I want to invite 6 different media companies to curate one of the stages for a day.
Oh my!
So it's like,
God.
and they bring like their own representatives. So it's like this like gigantic conglomerate of like, you know, all these independent media companies. They come together and it's like they curate the stage. So it's like, think about like, you know, how there's all those Instagram pages and blogs that have a very specific kind of curation.
Yeah.
It's like that, but in real life.
Oh, that would be wild.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to go. Bro. I'm willing to pay to see that shit. Bro.
Yeah. So, but I had that idea, and I was thinking about like, okay, so I've been thinking about that like all week, and then I was thinking about like where'd this come from? And I think I thought about that idea because I used to play Minecraft with like a bunch of kids, and they did that one time. There was like this like. To explain this, I'd have to explain like my whole Minecraft lore, but like these kids, pretty much we'd play these like recorded rounds of this game we played growing up in Minecraft, this mini game, and pretty much like the recorded rounds were like these like 2-hour long matches that like, you know, ended up being these incredibly long like seasons, pretty much like each one would be chopped in 20 minutes and it'd be like a 6 to 7 episode season of something. So it's pretty much like we took that game over the course of like 3 years and like tallied up like who would be like who like won the most fights and win and like had the most wins and stuff, and then like that conglomerated into like one round, and we called it like All Stars. So it was like that was where that idea came from. But that's something I haven't like really thought about in like years, you know. But it was like I kind of traced that idea back to that. I was like, I think this is why I was thinking about this, you know. It's weird.
Hey, but it makes sense. It made enough sense that you could go back and be like, oh, that's the fucking reason, bro. Mm-hmm. And I feel that hopefully a year and a half from now, you're gonna be throwing that. I feel I'll be paying. Ooh, hell yeah! Welcome back. Welcome back. Catch up.
That's one of my favorite things, bro. Is like saying things that I want to do in the future on the podcast.
Yeah, you're manifesting. You will do it.
100%. Do you guys believe in manifestation?
Yep.
Yes.
100%.
Talk about it.
That was a quick. That was a quick yes.
100%.
Talk about
The energy you
what we
put
doing?
out will come back.
Oh yeah, it's things we've been noticing, like the songs. I mean, not even just, I don't say just songs. Songs we're making, just, you know, having fun and saying certain things. I noticed a few things happened, like far as like
unintentionally.
Yeah, unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
Just making a song, and it's beautiful to see it. Like, so we've been focusing on just on certain things, you know, certain things to come, or being very what's this guy? Being very pinpointy about maybe the house we want or something like that. But I do believe in it, you know what I'm saying, 369 and other things like that. But yeah, we just been like noticing like, oh shit, you said that, oh shit, it's like it's happening to the point where like, okay, we're just gonna keep saying it's positive. It's no longer this is crazy, it's happening. No, it's not crazy.
Exactly.
It's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It would be crazy if it didn't happen.
Yes.
I think it's also kind of a practice of like convincing yourself.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, because it's like if you, and I think everybody should believe this, if everybody or you believes that anything's possible, that we can all like malleably like shift the world to our desires, I think then the next step to be able to practice that and to do that is to convince yourself that you can do it.
Yes.
You know, it's to like say those things in those songs, say what you want in the future, like tell everybody. Like I'm very proud of this. this was like right after Christmas this last year. I've worked in restaurants for 5 years now. So when I started working at a movie theater restaurant when 3 days after I turned 16, and I haven't not worked in restaurants for more than a month since then. I'm 21, almost 22 now, so that's been like 5 to 6 years. But I had this moment when I was serving on Christmas, this last Christmas, and I've missed a lot of like the holidays because of serving tables, which is tough. But I had this moment this Christmas when I was serving, or no, it wasn't Christmas, it was New Year's. I mean, it was New Year's Eve, and I was serving, and we were open till 12 that night. We had like extended the hours an extra hour, which I'm like, what the fuck, come on. But like, so we did that, and I had the last table, or like one of the 3 last tables, and there were like 2 other servers there. We all had one table, and these people were waiting for the ball to drop. You know, it was like 11:58, 11:59, whatever. So I remember they were the only 3 tables in the restaurant, and I was sitting at the bar in my restaurant, just kind of watching them because I only had one table. It was the end of the night, whatever. There's not much to do, and I remember watching all 3 of these tables get up and like look at each other and kind of like start talking to each other as the ball was dropping, and they started like chanting like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then that, you know, it happened, and they all started like cheering, and they were all like very happy, and it was cool to see because these people didn't know each other, but they became friends. And I think I promised myself that day in that moment that I will never work another holiday in a restaurant ever again. I promised myself that, and I didn't know how the fuck I was gonna do it.
But you were gonna do it.
But I was gonna do it, and I told so many people, and I will almost 100% be out of restaurants before this Christmas. I'm very, very happy about it. But it's like,
congratulations.
Thank you, yeah,
That's
thank you,
amazing.
thank you. I appreciate it, yeah. But it's just like, I didn't even know how I would do it, you know. But I kept fucking saying it. Like,
yeah.
I think there's a thing with artists that like, if you really, really believe in what you're doing, you have to almost be like consciously ignorant. Like, you have to almost be stupid in a good way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have to be crazy enough to think that you can make this, that you can do this, you know? But it's not crazy. But it's like, I think some people being living too much in reality, some people being too realistic is like the worst thing you can do to yourself. It's like people who refuse to dream.
Yeah.
But it's like, it is reality though, in a true sense. We're all just scared of our power.
Yeah.
We're scared of the power we actually wield in this universe. It's like we can create our own kinetic energy to propel forward. You just have to create the kinetic energy to propel forward. Like, you can't not only want it, but believe you're going to get it, because you're going to do that for yourself. To create positive energy and to lift everybody around you. Like, that's, like you said, love. The, what'd you say? Say it again. Wait, no, you said it.
Oh, I said,
willingness to try.
Love is a
a
conscious choice to keep trying.
Yes.
Exactly. And you have to love yourself by doing that.
Yeah.
It's not just about like lifting up others. It's about lifting up yourself so you can lift others up.
Yeah.
Like, you can't lift everybody up and you stay there. Like, that's gonna the opposite of it's lonely at the top, it's lonely at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bro, like, you have to remember that you're worth it.
I have one of my best friends is a rapper from San Francisco named Xanabis. I think all you guys would love him. Shout out to Xan. But he says this thing all the time where he goes, "It's not your responsibility to save the world. It's your responsibility to save yourself and tell others how you did it."
Period.
I think about that. Like, but I think that kind of relates to.
Shout out to Xan.
Xan, yeah.
Shout out to Xan.
I think that kind of relates to what you were saying, though. You know, like, it isn't your job to like change everything in the world, but it's your job but you do have the power to be the first step that does, you know. It's like you can tip the dominoes over.
Yeah, I just used that earlier.
That analogy?
The dominoes.
Yeah.
It's all just dominoes, bro. They all interact with each other, and like, you creating the world that you want to see will expand exponentially.
Yeah, 100%. I always think about how malleable life is.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have the power to like really shift the entire world to your desires. But I do think obviously like the environment you're born into plays a huge role in that. I do think there's some people who the odds are incredibly stacked against them.
Yeah.
But I do think that anybody does have the ability to do anything, you know.
Mm.
But I do think we also have to be very what would the right word be?
Mindful, maybe?
Yeah, I think mindful understanding of like people who like don't have the opportunity that we had, you know,
Yeah,
like
exactly. Like the fact that we're in LA, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like
very lucky.
we could have been born in any other situation. Like we, on the algorithm of life, we were placed in something on a very light algorithm that pushes itself. Even if like we're struggling, we're broke, we're never on a situation where we don't have basic sanitation, we don't have clean water, we don't have a possibility to shower, because that's very real. And even in this country, there's a lot of people in this country that don't have access to those.
Yeah.
And the fact that we all do, we already doing fantastic.
We also have our health, which is something I feel like we don't think about a lot.
Yes.
100%.
You know, like so I feel like I never consider like, what if I just didn't have an arm?
Yo.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're lucky to be able-bodied this far in life. Because a lot of people like are born full able-bodied, and something happens, something minor, something there's not even their fault. Maybe a car accident, maybe somebody dropping something heavy on them, or even just like an accident playing sports. Like a lot of people, like I have an uncle that he doesn't have like hearing in one of the sides because I think it's a soccer accident or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't quote me too much on that. It's like something like that, but it's like it was a heavy impact. And I do believe it's soccer because all those motherfuckers from my father's side love soccer.
Really? Are you into it?
None of them ever went professional, even though all of them dreamed of doing it. But I remember when I was young, really young, my dad every Sunday would wake up early and get the fuck off the house, and my mom and my sister and I would go pick him up around like 11, 12 a.m. and he would be playing soccer in some indoor soccer play with a bunch of old guys. And we would pick him up and we'd get some food. But like it was like a ritual for him for like years.
That's cool.
Until he became old and he had like health problems, he had to stop playing those. But that motherfucker's so crazy. He overcame those problems. He, at the age of 50-something, said, I'm going to go climb Mount Everest. And motherfucker did.
What?
Yeah, he had to go to Nepal and peak other mountains before to even be like eligible to do such trip. But I remember I was in high school and everybody was saying, your dad's gonna die for sure. And I would be like, yeah, my dad's gonna die. And he did, and motherfucker just sturdy as hell. He came back. And he's not like super athlete something. He's just like a Brazilian
willpower.
Man. Built like a old Brazilian man. If you think, close your eyes, see, how do an old Latino man looks like? That's my dad. And he climbed Mount Everest.
It's about knowing what's in your control and taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like, you could be in the worst situation, but sometimes you get lucky and there's a gap of chance, and if you don't take it, you're gonna stay there.
Yeah. I think things get really dark when you start thinking that your life is out of your control. Like I think things get really, really dark when you get to a place where you're blaming everything else for your problems instead of like, you know, and then I think that like could propel you into a place where it's like, I'm not going to try to change this at all. And that, I think, it's really, really scary.
People not acknowledging their canon events as canon. People's like, nah, this filler, nah, this filler. And it keeps coming back to their series, and they're like, nah, it's filler.
Explain the canon event thing. I've seen that like on TikTok. Everybody keeps saying like canon event. What does that mean?
Naruto, for example.
Yeah.
Naruto, there's two ways to watch Naruto. You watch Naruto canon or filler. What does that mean? Canon is the story that is original to the manga, the original form that Naruto was written. So that's the original, the real way the story is telling. But the anime, because they had to catch up a lot with the drawing, they had episodes that were filler, a bunch of episodes that do not matter to the story at all. Don't progress the story either forward or back.
Like side quests?
Yes, side quests. Side quests are filler, while main quests are canon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like they would play into the
It's like Steven Universe. The first season and a half is like you can go from the beginning and like to the middle of it and still be on the same
No way.
storyline.
I didn't know.
For real. The real plot doesn't really come in. It's hinted at throughout that whole filler. They did it so beautifully.
Isn't there some crazy lore? Yeah, I haven't thought about Steven Universe in forever.
Fan. I love watching kids things as adults because some of them are truly the best storytelling you'll ever.
Yes.
They're the best.
Yeah, I really want to go back and rewatch the entirety of Adventure Time.
Powerpuff Girls. Watch that shit.
Really?
Watch that
I
shit.
feel like I have a responsibility to now.
Yes. Mojo Jojo him.
So good.
Like there's so many great, insane villains. There's so many life lessons that are our shit, like the whole amoeba episode. I don't know if y'all remember, there's an episode that a villain transforms everybody into amoeba. They take the color literally out of the show, everything becomes gray. And with the power of music, they turn everybody into normal individuals and back into color again.
Whoa.
So everybody's not the same. Hopefully I'm not mixing two episodes, but that's the overall concept, at least the colorful episode.
There is a cool way I think that there's a cool message there. It's like without music, the world's kind of doesn't have colors.
Or like, for example, him, one of the first androgynous, genderless villains that people didn't really question. Even though the name was him, you couldn't tell. Yeah. And him was such an interesting villain. Such a motherfucking interesting villain. There's an episode that they put this girl through a test, a multiple choice test. Oh my God. Yeah, no, motherfucker was a great villain.
I think there's... I feel like, honestly, and maybe this is just because like I often watch movies and have to like really, really pay attention to get like a bigger point out of them. But it's like I think it is cool when there's like themes in children's shows that are a bit more surface level. You know, like I don't think a lesson is less valuable in a story if it's more surface level. Like I mean, like I think there should be a little bit of digging, you know, to just get there. But it's like I don't think if like just because a lesson's easier to perceive, that makes it like not as valuable, you know. Yeah.
No, I love Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon for that. Like, Billy Mandy, Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack. Like, what is the one that the guy had a monkey as a classmate?
Oh my God.
Jake.
My gym teacher is or is that? Was it? Yeah. My gym partner's a monkey.
Or there's
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, I think was the most creative one.
That was lit. Blue was an asshole though.
Yeah, he kind of
Blue was an asshole. Like that was the only reason I didn't really rock with the show, is because one of the main characters was so mean, and I was like, why? He never learns a lesson.
I feel like a regular show, like low key, Rigby and Mordecai, the way they treat each other is like really mean, but it's also on some brother shit.
Have you ever seen the short film that originated the show?
Dude, it's so good. Who was it? Was it Mario? Do you remember that one night we were trying to do the visuals for Lance's show? We were watching it. Yeah, was it you showed it to me, or was it? Yeah,
they get high at 3 a.m.
Fucking crazy, dude. It's so good. Oh, dude, it's so good. It blew my mind. It's crazy that like, I think what blew my mind so much about it was like the idea that J.G. Quintel had those characters in his head for 15 years before they ever saw the light of day. That is so cool to me. Like the idea that he built this universe in his head 15 years before it saw the light of day. That's so nuts.
It's insane. It's meant to happen.
Yeah.
Even though like very unpopular online because of very unpopular opinions, the guy who did Fairy Odd Parents, bro had those in his mind forever. He never evolved past those, but he has those forever.
Yeah.
The original episodes before they had the little baby and the dog.
How old are they?
Damn, I have no idea. Bro's an adult. Bro's old.
Yeah.
Bro's older. He's on right now. He's on late 30s, but probably when he did his show, he was like around our age.
Yeah,
mid 20s. So it's impressive that he pulled Fairy Odd Parents that early in his life, because there's so many iconic things. Like Vicky is an archetype for a childish villain, or like Chip Skylark.
Yeah,
it's the first representation of what Justin Bieber was without being Justin Bieber, because everybody would do the blonde character with the hair, but Chip Skylark was Chip Skylark.
I feel like Vicky was like the predecessor to like Candace and Phineas and Ferb.
Same hair color, same mannerisms.
I've always felt like that. Like damn near like a very, very, very similar character.
It's so funny how like in cartoons, hair color really determines like people's like mannerisms, behaviors. Like people with warmer colors are characters that are more intensive in their attitude. They're people that are make their presence known, and people with cool colors are more side characters, more healers, more people that are more ha ha ha. I am the comedic relief.
Yeah, I've never even thought about that, but you're totally right. Well, if you had to pick one like cartoon character to be your favorite, what would it be? My answer's so clear. In my
PG
head.
or not PG?
Whatever, yeah.
Oh, I love Gantz. Like it's a series. They have an anime. They have movies
I
about
knew you were
it.
gonna say some obscure shit I didn't know.
No, but Gantz is my shit. We've made songs about Gantz. Like there's a lot of stuff that Gantz has made me think. Cause Gantz is an anime, is a manga that you're not exactly gonna agree. A lot of things that Gantz talks about makes you realize that Gantz makes you see it in the perspective that every human being is very dirty and repugnant, and everybody has a very disgusting side to them. Doesn't matter who it is, when it was, everybody just needs to be pushed to a certain limit. And that manga really talks about it in a really in your face way. There's a million things I don't agree with that manga, but there's so many things. Like they have a chapter where this is big spoilers, so if you're reading Gantz, like hold your ears, because this is mad spoilers. But they go to a room, the characters go to a room of truth where every single answer about anything can be responded, and these two gigantic colossal creatures are just answering everything. And they talk about like about death and how important people are, and because there's two characters that are chasing this concept of an afterlife, and there's a series where you lose a lot of characters throughout the series. So there are series that especially with the possibility of resurrecting the character, you're thinking, oh, how they feel while they were gone. And usually when the character comes back, they don't realize they were gone. They just clipped into another moment. And no, I'm not gonna get into details into it, but when I was a teenager, I had a medical emergency where I phased out, and I never had the experience of I seen God. It was a clip for me, and that was the first time immediately that I was like, what the fuck? Whoa. Because in Brazil, we have a lot of people that go through similar experiences. They're accidents, or medical emergencies where people just clip out of life and then clip back in, and people see God, people predict the future, people see hell. I didn't see nothing. I clipped in and out.
Are you religious at all?
No, I'm agnostic. No, I'm not.
That's how I feel,
I would not be surprised because I grew up in a Catholic setting. So it would not blow my mind if a God existed.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, but I'm not too. I'm not devoted to anything.
I like the idea of being open-minded. Like I like the idea of like not really knowing. You know, that's kind of interesting to me.
Because it won't really affect me right now. Right now, like I'm fighting for rent. I'm fighting for my cat's food and litter. So like that's the important things. Like first, Mamacita needs your food. It needs a place.
Shout out Mamacita.
There's more pressing matters to attend to.
Yeah, Mamacita needs to shit, and Mamacita needs to eat, and Mamacita needs a place to sleep. That's it.
You're a dad first and foremost. Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's a. I feel like sometimes more people should approach the religion thing through the mindset of like, I don't know what's going on, you know? I don't know. I just never had, and I do think it's really, I almost like wish I believed a little bit more, because I do see it providing people with a lot of value and giving people a lot like in their life. But like for me personally, I just haven't had an experience or like a convincing like I guess individual in my life that has like led me to a place of religion.
I had, and that's how my parents brought me to Catholicism. But because in Brazil you have to really study to go through First Communion, and I don't know how as confirmation after in English. In confirmation, you have to really study. They have tests. They have like every Friday you go and study for like hours.
There's
like
Sunday school.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that my teachers maybe were too ignorant to explain me, and they would see as defiance, even if there was no intimidation, no no aggressiveness on
Yeah.
the tone, and that's something that bothered me because even when I got access to the internet, which shout out to my parents, gave access to my sister and I at least 30 minutes of dial-up for certain days of the week. Those were enough for me to get into forums, for example, and people in those hyper-religious forums would get mad for me for even contesting stuff. So not being able to find the answers of the questions I have turned me into searching for other religions that made me get into just seeing that I respect it because it brings a lot of peace, it brings a lot of guidance, it gives path, it gives purpose to a lot of people, but it's not what brings me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of think of it in the same way. I don't like. I feel like anything that refuses to be questioned becomes scary.
Yeah.
Like I think when like things or mindsets exist where it's like we questioning them is like antithetical to the premise of them, I think that becomes problematic and scary. It's like I think we should question everything.
Yeah, most definitely. I think to me, religion is like a hospital. You go there if you really, you're looking for some direction.
Yeah.
But you don't buy hospital merch. You don't stay in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
To me, that's when it gets weird, And I know it's mainly a business and stuff like that. But it's like, people's like, I mean, they can pick what they want. But to me, it's like, to be so in that is just weird to me. You know
I
what I'm
get
saying?
that.
Like, church can be held between two people. So, they say things to give hints, but then they kind of still try to keep people in there on some.
Yeah. I agree. Like I think, and I don't even think that just is like in reference to like religion or like God. Like I don't think there should be an individual in this world that you like look up to the point where you wouldn't question. Like I think we do that with politicians. I think we do the same thing with politicians. It's like we get to the point where it's like the politicians are like not gods, but like like
They control what we do.
Like they're heroes. Like I think it's so bizarre that we get personally invested in politicians' life outside of their opinions and their politics.
Outside of their policies,
fucking
right?
weird to me.
Why do we care about where they're eating, but not of the policies they are putting down?
Like why are they celebrities? Why are presidents celebrities?
This goes back to like he was talking about the meeting people in person versus online.
True.
So they're just trying to get a human connection, literally. So they have you voting and paying and
the rallies
stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just being artists. They're being celebrities.
I don't know if this is like wrong to even say, but I don't know if we should like want to humanize them.
No.
Because I feel like and I think that's like very specific. Like that's like obviously you want to think of everybody with respect. I'm not saying don't respect them, but I'm saying like I think when we like start to sympathize with politicians a little bit, like we can't like honestly and like seriously like and objectively judge judge their opinions and then question the things that they're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're thinking about them as individuals. Like if there's a politician that I'm like, damn, I'd love to have a beer with him. He seems really chill. I can't be like, oh, but I hate his opinions on foreign policy.
Yeah.
It's a little antithetical,
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it. It's not really like who they are as people. They are the representation of the policies that they hold.
That's all that should matter.
That's like think of it like a sheet of paper. Like
yes,
what are the points
exactly.
As to like, am I a part of what they're bringing to the table as a plan? These are just plan like pitches.
Yeah.
Plan pitches. Like, hey, do you want a world where this happens? Or do you want a world where this happens?
This idea just came to me. Imagine if imagine if this was in real life, or if this was in like a book or something, or like a comic book. Imagine a world where like the like you don't vote. Well, so like you vote for a president, right? But the president you can't see or hear, and like all you're voting for is their list of opinions.
That would be so
That's
good.
a true that is a true democracy.
Yeah.
Because honestly, what we need is just like, why is the president a president anyway? What we want are the policies. So what should happen is like a pool of like, just
not Mitch
people.
McConnell freezing time for like
Like
over 20
people
seconds
know
twice.
about, you know, economics and all of this stuff. Like, yes, politicians have like credentials. That's why they study this shit. And then like,
But we can still use those without seeing them.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
like imagine if like all four of us were running for president, right?
Yeah.
But it's like when there was a debate stage, like it's like, or when you go to the ballot, right? It's not like it says like, you know, like Dante Suka. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's saying the names on the ballot.
Yeah.
But what it's saying is like,
What we
here's
wanna
your
do.
opinion on A, B, and C. Here's my opinion on A, B, and C, and that's what you're voting for. And it's like I'm option A,
Which
you're option
opinion
B,
is
C,
cooler?
and D. You know?
Which opinion is
maker
gonna
of
make
Lay's.
us live a better life?
Yeah.
It's like the maker of Lay's, right? Do we know who invented them? Honestly,
Lay's?
no, because yeah, that's
The
what I'm
chips?
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I have no
existing. Exactly.
Oh, no, yeah.
You know why?
A
We
guy
don't
named
care
Lay?
about them as a person. All
Hell
we care
no.
about is what they got.
How much
What
sodium
they
they
bring
can
to the
serve us on
table.
those delicious
Like
motherfucking
this is
chips?
their plan to make amazing chips. So
Why the fuck-
therefore,
Why the fuck they created chip? I hate that because it's so delicious. man.
right?
Dude, chips are my
Chips.
downfall.
I love chips.
Pringles.
Yeah, bro.
Like, I can never get enough of chips. Like I can get sick of candy. I can get sick of chocolate.
me
like
too.
there's like a
Chips.
limit.
Me
You
too.
have
I'm
What's
to-
your
same way.
favorite chip? Yeah, what's
Salt
your
and
favorite
vinegar.
chip?
Salt and vinegar kettle chips.
Oh, specific. What
Sweet
brand?
chili
Kettle.
Doritos.
Kettle. Oh,
Kettle, yeah. Oh, those the chili cheese Fritos are nuts. Those are so
Chili
good.
cheese
So
fruit.
good.
That's
That's
wild.
like close.
So
That
good.
damn near my
Yeah.
favorite.
That's really good.
Those are
Yeah, I'm
fire.
definitely a corn chip guy.
Corn chip's
I love
fire,
I
bro.
love guacamole and queso.
Yes.
I'll eat. Matter of fact, we should go
Meet up
to
with some
let's go to a Mexican restaurant and eat the chips and leave. Gosh, nah, I don't know. Chips is
If
just,
I was broke and could not afford Mexican food, that is exactly what I would do. I would just
Guac
go in
is-
there for chips and guac. I need
Guac's
it.
so good, bro.
It's so good.
I've been making guac recently.
same.
When you
Yeah.
make it yourself, it just hits different.
Yeah,
There's
one
something
thing
about
where
it.
I was fucking up for a while is I wasn't putting lime in it. And, yeah,
You gotta
and
put
it
lime.
tastes. Yeah,
That's what makes a
I
guac
didn't know
like
that. Yeah,
it brings the
Tastes
zest to it.
exactly. It's a whole different thing. So game changer.
I was about.
So
I
now
was
I'm
in my
putting-
head like
yeah.
all quiet saying, "What makes a guac shitty is when they forget the,
The lime, yeah, bro.
And then you say,
Yeah, yeah, no, for real. It is exponentially better now. Like, so what I've been doing is like, I'll take one whole avocado, put it in a bowl, salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of chopped onions, a little bit of like tiny chopped tomatoes, and then lemon and lime and salt and pepper, and just mash it. Oh, dude, it's the shit.
You
I'm-
want to know what I do sometimes?
I need to save this boy.
Save him.
Right here, boy. Pineapple.
I put some red pepper sometimes, and not the fresh
Ooh.
one, the one that you get in the cans.
Like a little bit of
you
spice?
Just chop it up like really like little bitties,
Mm,
and then you throw
sounds
it in
so
there.
good.
It just makes it a little sweet, and I like it.
yeah. Oh, dude, I don't know what it is, but like
You
I
need a
don't-
guac show. Like you bring artists and say how
Yes, 'cause then
how do you
there's
make your
mango
guac?
the other day, my homie Buppy, shout out to Buppy, he said, "What if you did above the fridge?" And I was like, "Oh, yo,
Mine is pans and cereal.
yeah."
Above my fridge is pans and cereal.
What do we got? I got bread, garbage bags, and I don't know. I don't know what else.
Yeah, I do.
Something else. What is it? Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever gone to a homie's house and a homies that you really respect? You've never seen their living conditions, and then you walk into their apartment and you just see that kitchen, and you're like, God damn, do you eat from this? Have you
Like,
ever?
Dude, you fear for their health. You really do. You fear. Like, why do you want to live like this? Yeah. Dude, how do you want to put that? Put
Oh, I
yourself
question
through
that.
this?
Yeah.
I will say the only reason my kitchen is clean though, like, it's because my girl likes it clean.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing motivating me.
It doesn't bother
to
you?
get clean. It's not about cleanliness. It's kind of like messiness. She
Yeah.
doesn't like the mess. Because like we
I
always
get
like clean
that.
it. It's not like
I hate
we'd
the
clean
clutter.
it
The clutter
if it
gets
was
me.
dirty, but like it's the clutter for me. Like for me,
Same.
I think it's because that's how my brain operates.
yeah,
and
same,
so like
yeah.
I need things in certain places for me to remember to do things.
That's exactly how I feel.
I
Yeah.
hate going for a cup of water and there's no cups, or going for I'm gonna cook something and I've been cooking and I've made all these ingredients and now I need a plate to serve myself. Where's the plate? I hate the sensation. And throughout my life, I realized, if I don't do it myself, doesn't matter if you live with like 700 roommates, they're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like my shit. Like I just leave it all my shit clean. So you need something, just grab it.
Yeah. I think that's a better mindset to have. I'll let it bother me, which is silly. Like I just gotta I don't know. I think it's the clutterness for me. That's what gets to me. It's like it's not even like the I guess technical clean of it. You know, it's like if there's bacteria on it,
you can just clean it later.
Yeah, just clean it later. But it's I gotta it's gotta look clean to me. Like this studio, I try very, very hard to make everything organized. Like the chords, my chords are so OCD. I have them all nailed to the wall.
I need to redo my chords at home, bro. Don't even talk about my CPU. Oh,
it's bad.
And this is pretty bad, but there's not much way around that.
I need better cable management for sure.
Double is worse than that. It's actually really bad.
But don't go to my house. You're gonna be scared, bro.
The cable management isn't there.
You're gonna be like, who is this motherfucker? My cable management is dumb.
Yeah.
It's stupid. My cable management is bro, you do so many things right about your life. How can you not manage cables?
I feel like
because it's the last thing you do
into the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was just spoiled in college. In college in film, we have a group of people like G&E that do the electric, the lights, and everything and set. And they are so great with cable management that I grew spoiled, and I never worried about it. So I graduated college with all these skills, and cable management is not one of them. I know how to wrap sound cables and light cables, video cables differently, but yo, I forget about taping the cables, not making trippable. The amount of times I got homies tripping in my house on cables that I just left.
I tripped on a cable right here, and my camera fell off the tripod and broke the lens last month.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I was talking about cable management when I did it.
What?
I was my homie my homie Kento was in here, and we were talking about cable management. And then as I was talking about cable management, I tripped and the lens broke my camera. It's oh my god.
What?
I'm grateful it was just the lens though.
Yo, your writers were writing that shit. They were Dante's life today. He's gonna talk about what's gonna happen.
Dante predicts his future and his expensive reality.
Or expensive glasses, some expensive things.
Yeah, dude.
I've been getting for Westcore a camera. I want to get a Blackmagic Pocket, just a 4K because I like the color science. I know how it works. I know the battery shit.
That's my next step.
Yeah, I really want to do it because you can find a Blackmagic, the 4K, the Pocket one for less than a band, a used one.
Those are the really tiny ones, right? The consumer line.
Tiny.
Yeah.
They're around this size. But they're fantastic. The color science is so beautiful and so easy to amplify or take out what you want. I really like how people shit on Blackmagic, especially film
Do
nerds. Film nerds hate it.
Really? I didn't know
Film
that.
nerds are Ari people, Alexa people.
Yeah.
They shit on Red.
Isn't red whatever movie shot on? Generally, Reds and Aries?
Red is beautiful. I love red.
Yeah.
Red, a lot of great stuff is shot on red. And in LA, there's a culture that if you're not shooting with an Alexa, you're wasting your money because they are similar price cameras.
Yeah.
There is a big price difference. Blackmagic to a red and an Alexa is a big jump.
Yeah.
But a red and an Alexa, especially when you consider really building out your camera, because you got to build the lens, you got to get the matchbox, got to get the cage, you got to get the monitor, the V-mount battery, extra batteries, the V-mount thing. There's so many things you have to put in the camera that is pretty much the same price.
Yeah, cinema cameras are terrifying to me. I feel that is a world that just gets so incredibly more expensive. I told myself though, when I buy. I would never buy a fucking red for any reason. But if I were to get Blackmagic to shoot on or whatever, I told myself I'm not gonna do it until I don't have to worry about spending that money.
Yeah, because there's something about those cameras, Blackmagic, for example, specifically doesn't have image stabilization. It doesn't have autofocus. So even if you have an autofocus lens, it's not going to do nothing.
That's the thing. It's at certain points in my camera is it's so unuser-friendly that it's why am I buying this to make my experience harder if I can get a great result out of a different alpha line camera or another camera that's just a good mirrorless or DSLR that I'm not paying $12,000 for, you know?
I
Like,
feel if your camera shoots log and you can, it's all about the lenses, because
Yes.
the lenses and the filters can change so much, especially with all these experimental filters that are like, I will call it accessible, because us American is a good price for the average income of an American, but like $60, 60 American dollars for a filter, it's great to put in a music video.
Yeah.
Like I shot a music video, Faye Valentine, that we had Snorri cam, like those
Those are sick.
yeah, those cables. It was $50 a day.
That's not bad. Yeah.
It was a nice investment, because
Yeah.
it changed the vibe of the music video.
Totally.
We were able to do stuff we didn't plan, and the director and the cinematographer had so much fun and brought so much more life to the video.
Yeah.
It was $50, but it was a great investment.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I wish I knew more about the world of lenses, man. I feel like I don't know anything about lenses.
Share grid, bro. Rent them and experiment.
That's what I've heard,
Share
dude. Yeah.
grid.
I have a really good friend who's a cinematographer who tells me to do the same thing.
They even have their own insurance there, so it's good that don't worry about it. It's a little saltier if you really understand how much, because you can buy year-long equipment insurance for you. So any equipment that you rent, it falls within that insurance. Check your policy, of course. But in film school, what we used to do, we used to work with a specific company. Don't remember the name, but we used to get a year-long insurance.
Oh,
so
cool.
every time we rented from Wood and
Something
Nickel or from
insured,
ShareGrid, we had our own insurance that covered up to $1 million.
Yeah. What a good idea for a company.
Insurance, bro. If you have money to insure people, you can get rich so quick. There's so many specific little insurance. Audio equipment insurance.
Yeah.
There's weed insurance if you have
What?
farms. Yeah, if you have farms, or if you have labs, or if you grow yourself, there's insurance for that. And it's very specific. The rules are very
Very
because
interesting
it's
thing to
federally
sell.
illegal.
Yeah. Strange thing to sell. Like insurance. Like I feel like pushing that on somebody would be such like a strange. I'm very grateful I've never had to really be in a well, I guess every job is a sales job at a certain point, but it's like I'm grateful that I've never had to like work in a career where it's so salesy that it's like I'm convincing somebody of something that I don't believe in.
Yeah.
Like that would fucking suck, you know? If I was trying to sell somebody on a product that I don't believe in. Like I'm trying to sell somebody on a product that I believe in immensely, you know? It's like, so it makes it a lot easier.
I'm afraid of buying any new things. Not like I can afford a boat, but I have a friend like that. He had his boat towed, and he had to get it back because his insurance expired, and 2 days of expiration made him lose his registration, and they immediately towed his boat. It was a tiny boat, not like a yacht or something.
He lost his registration?
Because of the insurance, so he had to get all that, and it cost so fucking much for him to get it back. And it's a little boat. It's a boat.
I think it's terrible that shit isn't regulated at all. Like when I put a show in the Bay Area over the summer, and my guitarist, he parked his car. We both parked in a Burger King parking lot, and I felt so bad because he got towed and I didn't. But he got towed, and we went to like the place, you know, the tow yard that same night, and we got there and we literally saw them bringing the car in. Like we pulled up as they were unloading the car. So they'd been there for 30 seconds. Like we caught them right after they left. But we got there, $600, and the car wasn't there for 10 minutes.
Damn.
And there's just like they can just do that.
They can.
Like, and you can't do shit about it.
It's scary.
Like that is terrible to me.
It's crazy scary for me.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Like it's not like I have money to just be giving. Oh, my mistake. Here's $600.
Yeah, sorry.
Like, that's my rent, bro.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Jesus Christ, I don't know. That's so wrong to me. I feel like sometimes I don't think about like what if I just lost my car tomorrow too.
Bro,
Like I would be fucked.
I'd be fucked. Cause like yeah. Because in this trip, what is moving us around is the car. Like we
Yeah.
in the tell us what we did in just the past 2 days since we've gotten here, bro. We did so much.
2 days. Shot a lot of content. Shot a lot of
That's so
videos. Couple.
Even for friends, we shot 2
Yeah.
music videos for other friends, and he was
Oh,
a
cool.
cinematographer.
Oh, fire.
Yeah, he's very
Hell yeah.
modest about himself, but he was a cinematographer for all the videos.
That's sick.
that's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm
But
so
yeah.
sad I wasn't here. I just got here today.
Yeah, you got it
so,
from
like,
Vegas today.
Yeah, but
Damn.
it's also because, you know, LA's expensive. I'm out of.
It
Yeah.
I,
it is.
I do miss being here so much, though. Like, I get to see these guys,
Mhm.
and like, the atmosphere here is just
instant.
different.
Yeah.
There's an excitement in the air. You can feel the vibrations of belief in oneself.
Oh, I love that.
Like
Totally.
it's that makes like it makes you excited to wake up in the morning.
Oh, 100%. For sure. I felt that instantly when I moved here. I feel like it's just like it's interesting because it's like the average. It's like if you move here from another place, there's like an implied level of how much you care. Because it's like if the average person who makes it cares at a level of 10 out of 10, it's like you have to already be at a 7 to be committed enough to move across the country to go to LA. You know, so there's already a level of commitment there. So it's like the baseline of people that you're meeting generally is like a 7. Opposed to other places where it's like people are like casually doing it, which is totally fine too. You know, but
it's less support.
Yeah, like the gauge starts at a different place.
Yeah.
How long?
100%.
What were you saying?
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought you started a sentence.
No,
How long?
It's just like an energy community in a sense, and also like a really strong community. Like I have so many friends that, you know, I don't see anymore that like even moved to LA right when I moved to Las Vegas, which I felt really sad about because
I have people like that too. Yeah.
I could have been hanging out with you. I'm sorry, that was my bad. But like, it's expensive here, and like sometimes I feel like I'm like but I feel like I made the right choice in moving there because I cut my budget in half.
Yeah.
And it also like it's close enough where I can still come for like
you're all here.
Yeah, look what I'm doing. I'm on a
You're here.
podcast interview. It's really cool and makes me excited, and
hell yeah,
like it's a place that I can always come back to.
Totally.
Like it's especially like when things are happening. Like I'm gonna be in my little Batwoman cave, like up there in the hills of Vegas, just
chilling,
making and creating. And that's like literally what I do all day. Is just sit in my studio and sing and write and sing and write and sing and write.
Because you have a powerful voice
and
too.
Produce a lot. Yeah.
You talk about like one thing that I feel is very interesting for other artists like you to understand, like the job that you do making music for other people, like specific situations, like couples and stuff.
Yeah.
So I know somebody else who does this. Yeah.
She has a very specific like way she monetizes her songwriting. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was a blessing finding this company, honestly, because like.
Is it the birthday one?
It's the which one?
Is it like the birthday song one and the anniversary song one? And
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I have a friend who does that. Yeah.
They give you a brief. Like it has to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds at least, and you know there's 3 things that they can, like the client can suggest, or I mean like have as like mandatory details basically, and like that's it. Like I have made thousands of songs.
Yeah.
Like, okay, not thousands.
What are they usually about? Like anniversaries? like
that was a exaggeration, but I think my number right now is like 370 something.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And they'll just be like, write a song about like Ed's anniversary with Mary.
Yeah, exactly. And I have reused a lot of material from there.
Yeah, because why the fuck wouldn't you? Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's something that, you know, I still own the rights to, so it's
cool.
It's really, really awesome to just like, it's almost like an exercise for me now that I get paid for.
Yeah. That's sick. What are you like when you're here? Like, what excites you the most? Like when you're in LA, opposed to in Vegas?
When I get to see my friends.
Yeah.
Like, and the food, but just seeing these guys, seeing my friend Johnny from Hard Drive. I get to see Roman, also from Hard Drive. Roman Lane. He's a cinematographer. Did I introduce you guys yet?
I don't think we know each other, but I've heard his name because of you, because you've worked with him.
Yeah, he's an amazing producer and singer-songwriter as well. Actually, you two should make a track or something. That would be really cool.
Hey, the possibility is always open.
I'm just saying it would sound good. And yeah, just seeing my homies.
That's cool.
I did leave a lot of people in LA.
Yeah.
It's like where my heart is, even though I hate the traffic and I hate driving here, but like everything else is amazing.
Yeah. Type about the Bay, you know, like Bay, it will always be home. Mm-hmm. There will never ever be another place that feels like home, like the Bay Area does to me.
Yeah.
That place has my heart forever, you know.
Yeah.
I feel them like there's I have like a very like Adam Sandler click type of heart. Like there's my heart is tied to specific moments of my life. Like I remember, this is the most religious specific moment that is connected. But when we were getting like our first confession, before we ate the I don't know how y'all call the Jesus.
The body of Christ.
Yeah, we call in Brazil ostia.
Ostia.
And before we were eligible to eat our first ostia, we had to do our first confession. So they took us like to the mountains, to a temple full of nuns and one really powerful like priest. And he all put us like we were like 20 kids, including my sister and I were in the same class. And he asked, "Who is the first one who wants to do a first confession?" And my friend Alexia put her hands up, and she just went in. 2 minutes after she was out. And I was like, whoa. So I was the second one.
It's like a core memory.
Yeah. And I don't even know what I confessed. Like I was like, what, 9?
Yeah.
So probably, I lied to my mom. I bought 2 M&Ms at lunch.
I stole a candy bar. Yeah.
And then like it's something, and I remember I did a confession and I walk out and Alexa just looked back at me. Her first reaction was just running, giving me a hug.
Wow.
And I remember the rest of the day we just collected pines. We talked about the weird statues because they were scary. You know, like these Catholics statues when they're like big, really big, and you're a child, those scary.
Yeah.
But I remember we're just playing games for the rest of the day, and then we met the group like 2 hours later when people had confessed. But I remember that is like such a comfort. Every time I feel like the smell of pine, even on when people have like the pine thing in cars, immediately to that moment.
Yeah.
Like that is like a specific item sender click moment that my heart's tied to.
It is so crazy how our brains work like that. Like there are moments in my life that I don't think I'll ever forget that are really, really like, in hindsight, like not super formative. You know, like I will never forget the first time I ever heard the song "No Surprises" by Radiohead. Like I don't think I'll ever forget like what the smell of like my neighbor's house was on Loma Vista Street in Concord, California, where I grew up. My neighbors were named Michael and Raven.
Oh,
and they
shout out to Michael and Raven.
Shout out to Michael and Raven. That'd be insane if they ever saw this. But like, I don't know who they are now. But I'll never forget like what their house smelled like because I was so young. You know what I mean? But it's like, not that plays any like actual impact in like my life really, but it's just one of those things that I will always remember. Like I'll always
vividly
remember. Like I'll always remember like the lunches my grandma would make me like when I was in elementary school. Like when she'd pick me up, bring me home, like the lunches she would make me. I'd always remember that.
What is the best thing she used to make?
It was like a rotating cast of like 7 things. So it went from like hot dogs to like peanut butter jelly sandwiches that were double decker, and looking back, it was literally like the worst thing you could possibly eat. She'd make us like double like the best tasting thing possible, but like so much like calories. But it was like double decker peanut butter jelly sandwiches. So like it'd be like literally 2 peanut butter jelly sandwiches made into one. Like
that's so lit. Imagine if you could have like crunchy, creamy, strawberry and grape all in one sandwich.
You're inventing a new genre right now.
Your grandma did it. I didn't.
Yeah, facts.
Shout out to your grandma.
Shout out to Grandma Marilyn. Yeah, but she would do that, and she would just put butter all over all of the bread. Like
she would much fry it or no?
No, she would like toast it with a hell of butter. Oh, so good. And then it was that. Tuna fish sandwiches, grilled cheese sandwiches, and then hot dogs. And then they're always Casper's hot dogs, though. Casper's hot dogs specifically. Those are fire.
Okay, have an unpopular opinion, maybe a question. Have y'all ever, like, when y'all doing grilled cheese sandwiches, fry the side that you make toasty of the bread with mayo instead of butter? Have y'all tried?
I bet that's fire. It sounds good.
It sounded disgusting to me, but a friend of mine made the crispiest crust I've ever eaten in my life. Another thing, like if you're making burger patties for whoever eats meat, the In-N-Out way is put mustard on the patties.
Oh, dude, no, but that's always been a thing. My grandma actually taught me that too. She would, my other grandma, was like very, very specific in the way she made sandwiches. Shout out all my grandmas.
Yo,
but like
cooking.
Yeah, but it was like she was so specific on the way she constructed a sandwich. She always, this is my other grandma, a different one, but she would always put the mustard on the lunch meat, like whatever it was, always on it. Cause it brings out the flavor of the meat.
Especially if you fry it, it's gonna give that crunch, and it's not like that. Oh, I burned something and it carbonized and then now it's crunchy. It's just like a natural to it.
Hell yeah.
Like ASMR.
Yes, literally. I'm starting above the bridge ASMR division.
I'm not gonna lie, ASMR kind of creeps me out. Like there's some
It's very
crazy.
creepy.
Sometimes when I'm like I'm doom scrolling and I stumble upon like some, I don't know why the fuck the algorithm thinks. It's probably because I'm too terrified for the first like 5 seconds to scroll. Like there was an ASMR, a dude was putting like something between his teeth, and on the floss there were different little bumps, and he made different noises, and he was like,
hell no.
You lost me.
See,
You lost me.
It's scary.
I'm so anti that.
Algorithm, why would you feed me that?
My ear would not. No.
Yeah.
Don't. I don't want to listen to that.
See,
But I'm gonna pivot because I'm gonna leave this place and talk about one of the most like moments that like really transformed me as like a collaborator was when me and Phil collabed on that song that I am too high to remember at the moment, but I literally listen to that song all the time, and it's literally weird because like I have it in my head right now, but like for the life of me I can't tell you the title.
Boundaries.
it's the marijuana.
Boundaries also.
Wait,
We have a lot
another
of the first one.
That's a beautiful
we
friendship,
ever
and you have so many
collaborated
records you can't remember the names. That's
was
awesome.
because
We make too much music together.
Yeah.
Way
yeah,
too
we
much
do,
music.
because that was our first one was in Phil's house with Alf. Who? Bro, I'm really high right now. You gotta help me remember these people.
Well, I'm trying to remember all the songs that y'all have together, because they all have Nickelodeon, y'all have Boundaries.
What was the first song that we never released, but we have it in the? You know what I'm saying?
I don't have it.
I know. We totally forgot about it and lost it to
We
the
have
void.
so many songs like in the vault. So many.
the
We have like
vault.
over
They're all in the
200 songs in the vault.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, especially from the era we were discovering our sound, discovering like the communities like SoundCloud or Matter.online, Discord. We were just motherfucking making music.
Hey,
Sometimes we would go to
yeah.
my house, smoke weed, and just make 2-3 songs in a night.
Hey, everyone that doesn't come out though is practice. You know, you learn from everything. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Or we just have to suck it up and release them.
Yeah, at a certain point, for sure. Guys, we just did 2 hours and 5 minutes.
You are kidding
No
me.
way.
What?
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's a long conversation.
Yo, that was really cool though.
That was amazing though.
That did not feel like 2 hours.
I told y'all you would be so comfortable.
That did not
I was
feel
telling
like 2
them.
hours.
I was telling them like there's no reason to be nervous or anxious at all, because like the last time I did it, we were like, oh shit, we talked for over an hour. I was like, oh
Yeah.
hell no, we talked for 20 minutes, man.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it feels so short, right?
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, I didn't even take a blunt count.
Oh, we'll have
But I
to,
think it's 3. I think this is the third.
we'll review the tape. Doug, could you put it on the screen, please?
There's a screen.
Thank you.
Wait, this screen?
No,
There's a projector?
no,
Wait,
No,
what's
it's
that screen?
no.
It's on the
no,
digital
no, no,
world.
no. I was talking to the editor.
Yeah, yeah.
In the future tense.
when
that
we're
would be sick,
immortalizing
though.
media.
Like,
Yeah.
I was about to say it. Like, you saw the...
Imagine a
Never
projector
mind,
on that. That'd be
never mind.
sick.
That was a high moment. Move on.
All right. Well, thank you guys. That was a lot of fun.
Thank
was
you.
really
Thank
fun.
Mario.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank both of y'all. Like, what the
I'm
fuck?
so relaxed right. This was so much fun.
Right? It's a therapy session.
Yo,
It's the
for
best thing
real.
ever. You guys
This
can all
is
literally,
incredible.
whenever you want, come back on. I'd love to do it again.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Anytime you want. Yeah.
2 hours. What?
Yo.
the
What's,
hell?
I
the
appreciate
next,
you.
What's the next event?
Oh, I don't. Right now, very tentatively in November, but there's a. I don't know why I'm trying to act like this like cryptic. The goal right now is to do 2 shows in November, and we have like a whole corresponding theme that we're working on and stuff. But
Ooh.
so yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, so the goal right now is 2 shows in November. But
You know I'm gonna be there headbanging the fuck out.
fuck
bro.
yeah, you were, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you. That's love. That's seriously.
The
Appreciate
crazy I was
you.
able to roll.
Yeah, dude. Mario was telling me you rolled when outside smoke and watched the next act and then rolled again and then
Yeah,
went
I
outside.
was holding the tray like this and just rolling. The tray was much smaller though. And I was holding my pinkies and rolling and appreciating beautiful music. Shout out to all of this artists. Like,
shout out Maddie, shout out Gabby, shout out Emmy, shout out Ellie. I just realized
shout
all
out to their
names
drummers too, their bands, their guitarists, their bassists.
Crazy.
Like,
crazy.
Motherfuckers love making music, and I love listening to motherfuckers that love making music.
It's so beautiful, man.
Like, every single artist that was on stage loved making music, and I could tell because I could feel it.
Yeah, it was so palpable, bro. Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Dude,
it was a stage that you could see that crowd was not afraid to get close to the stage, and it's so.
That was fun. That was for sure.
Those are important.
People would walk out for like cigarette breaks, but they would walk in. That is what is so hard in LA. A lot of people when they see walking out, they're like, they won't walk in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is. You're right. Yeah, LA crowds are weird, bro.
Portland's like this too. Portland, a lot of people don't walk in when you walk out, and it's scary.
It's all ego.
Yeah, when we performed there, we saw a lot of people staying outside, and we're like, we're going back in for the next act. They're like, okay. And they stayed outside.
It's like, all right, I'm going to stay out here and network.
Yeah, like, aren't y'all here for music?
Yeah.
Let me not, like, kidnap this conversation, because we're getting another tangent.
I feel like we go forever. Hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all very much. Tell them, let's go in a circle and tell them where they can find you, your apps, where they can stream, follow, do all the things.
Okay, so my username across all platforms is Maya Music, MAYALAMAYA Music.
Yes.
So nice to say it twice. Anyway, and then once you go on there, or you can find me on Spotify, I have over 50 songs, something like that, out. If you like.
Go listen to Blue Dream.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Blue Dream just got placed on Love Island finale season.
What? That's crazy.
Literally
like basically the whole thing. It was crazy. I got 500 Shazams from it, and I was just placed on. Like, I literally found this out today. It's like, I'm
congrats. That's so cool.
Her first editorial playlist today, and it's a sponsor one. It's not like a curated by a tastemaker.
Good shit.
Big.
Damn, that's huge.
That is crazy.
It's gonna be a good monetary sync placement as well. Love Island's hella trendy right now. Yeah.
I'm telling you, love reality TV shows are in.
They kind of are.
They are, especially with like Love Is Blind, Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah.
Claim to Fame was going crazy too. A lot of YouTubers were making crazy content out of Claim to Fame.
Yeah. Well, congrats. That's awesome. But hell yeah, stream that.
Oh.
Promote yourself.
Sorry. I didn't hand off the torch.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Phil?
You can find me mostly on TikTok at Dreams Are Real Kids with the S. Or if you Instagram, I do Instagram every once in a while. You can find me at Phillip Dark Music. And yeah.
And stream our song, which we did together.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Boundaries and
Boundaries.
And
also the first one is escaping my brain right now. I'm so mad. It has an N in it. I think. I swear.
Oh.
Nicodonia?
No.
They're gonna
also stream that.
Hell yeah.
What was it? Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know, but
it's hilarious.
Hopefully we put that in the comments when we find out.
Yeah, we'll find it. Anyway.
It's a Easter egg. You have to go find it. Whoever
look in the comments.
Whoever DMs me on Instagram with the name of the song that we did
$30
together,
Amazon gift card.
For real.
I will send you a personal thank you note.
Boom.
Which is arguably worth more.
Boom.
Yes. But you have to DM me. Otherwise, I can't send you a thank you note.
Boom.
Yes.
And it'll have stickers.
Boom.
And Suki?
And you can find me everywhere. 818-SUKI. 818, like the area code. Suki, SUKI. That's pretty much it. If you like nerd shit, if not like weed, if you like what we're talking about, what we're doing, that's all our music. We're just experimenting. We don't have no objective other than making good music, I think. I think that speaks for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys.
Hell yeah.
That was amazing. That was so fun. One of my favorites.
That is great. Thank you so much for the platform once again.
Yes, of course,
For real,
brother.
this was the best thing
You're welcome back
that
whenever.
has happened all month. So
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It sets such
The
a high
energy.
standard.
Amazing. Literally, you guys are welcome back anytime. Thank you, dude. All
I'm
right.
so excited to see you guys again. That's
Hell
all I'm
yeah.
gonna say.
Alrighty. Music matters.
Music matters.
Music matters. Cheers.
Oh yeah, we should cheers
We should
real
cheers.
quick.
Let's cheers. Right?
I take the pineapple.